Welcome in BC Football Friday, and we're kicking things off here on the Benedictine Football Kickoff Show, presented to you by 912 Cards, your trusted source for buying and selling trading cards, located right on Eisenhower, 1094 Eisenhower Drive there in the heart of Savannah. We're so excited to be back this Friday. BC here within the hour, kicking off against Hebron Christian Academy, defending state champions there in the AAA private region, and coming down to Savannah to put forward what should be a really, really fun football game. And we're excited to get things started with you here this afternoon. We're going to start things off with an interview from earlier in the week with Coach Britt as he previewed Hebron and that really talented team that's coming down to Savannah. And then we're going to take a swing around the region, see where some of the other big games happening that affect the cadets are going on tonight. But first, from this previous Wednesday, as we caught up with Coach Britt and previewed tonight's matchup. Today. Hebron Christian coming to town, another extremely talented football team in this fun 3-game stretch. I think that's the best way to put it. Right. Coming up for you guys, and they're coming off of a really big win up at Center Park Stadium where Georgia State plays, former Turner Field, where they handled Carver Atlanta pretty good. I think they were up 20-0 about 3 minutes into the first quarter in that one. A team that is not too dissimilar in terms of style from what we saw from Toombs this past week. Power run, maybe a little bit more quarterback run than we saw this past week, but just scouting them, what have you seen?
Yeah, they love to run the football. I think or Coach Howson had them at 76% run. We'll throw a little bit, some play action type stuff. Big offensive line, a number of guys that can run. Number 7 is the playmaker they want to get the ball to. And yes, you're right, their quarterback run, a little bit more good-sized kid. So offensively, a solid, very solid football team. Another very good team coming in, and we're going to have to really, really play well to win.
And I know staying defensively for you guys, nothing gives a coach quite the sinking feeling of people ripping 8-9 yards at a time running the football. What have you guys tried to correct this week in practice to try to rectify that? Because it was right up the gut between the tackles and didn't seem like there was anything to do.
Yeah, I mean, you just go back to work and you work on fundamentals. That's all I know how to do. I told the team that at the end of the game, that all I know how to do is go back and just do the little things right. From running on and off the field to practicing fast to thudding up correctly, getting all blocks. We just went back to work on fundamentals, and hopefully we'll be better at it than we were last week.
And we kind of talked about this before the Toombs game last week, but if you're second or third string and you're walking into practice or throughout the day, you're like, just got to go stand out in the sun, watch the first teamers get after it. Maybe I'll get in a little bit. There's no way I play on Friday. I think Friday was a wake-up call because you had a lot of guys having to get into that football game. And when you're playing a team that's heavy run like that, you can't rely on Isaac Scott and Gavin Smith to take every single snap. Those guys who are second and third right now need to be mentally ready to go into those situations.
Yeah, they do, and realize that, certainly at the beginning of the year and these situations, we're going to have to roll guys in and be ready to go. And, I mean, why not take that opportunity and see what you can do?
Flip it over, offensive side of the ball for you guys. Again, another team that likes to run the 3-4. They're going to have some athletic guys on the outside. Just going back, like I said, going back to the fundamentals, what do you guys need to do this week to help the offense get into rhythm?
Yeah, I think, first of all, we've got to get on our blocks and just stay on the blocks a little bit better, move our feet a little bit better than what we did last week. And a lot of that, again, you got to go back to giving teams credit and how they played and the athletes they were playing with. So that's first. Stick to, take that 4-yard gain. 4 yards is great. 4 yards is beautiful. Instead of trying to overcompensate for us losing is what started happening. You mentioned it first last week. But, do that, and then, let Amari take the 5-yard play, the 6-yard play, and then that'll open up for the bigger stuff.
And it did seem like leading up to the season, that was something AJ was really preaching to the offenses. First down is about 4 to 5 yards. It's not about giant plays.
Right. And that is. He's very much talks about that, especially with the quarterbacks, about, stay in front of the chains. Just stay in front of the chains and keep that, if you can get, 4 yards, that 4 yards on first down, it really opens up second and third now.
Welcome back in. Again, appreciate Coach Britt, and you can catch us every Wednesday there at Bowtie Barbecue at noon, talking about the previous game from that Friday and then the game coming up. And it's a really fun time and some great food there at Bowtie Barbecue. But again, this is your 912 Cards Benedictine Football Kickoff Show. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a swing around the region, see where the rest of the folks here that BC will see on the schedule coming up are playing tonight and what happened to them this past week.
Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com. Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings is one of Savannah's most popular. Could be the New York style pizza, or the pasta, or sandwiches, or wings. Whatever you choose, Cool Vibes has their own unique style. Check them out at 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah.
My name is Chris Williams. My wife Corey and I own C. Williams & Associates here in Savannah, Georgia, and we are proud sponsors of Benedictine Athletics. We have 3 different offices in downtown Savannah with 16 therapists providing a variety of different services, including individual therapy, couples therapy, group counseling, walk and talk therapy, as well as mind and motion, which integrates traditional talk therapy with personal training. When it comes to mental health, having a game plan is important, and we're here to help you find yours.
Bowtie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, Bowtie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the Bowtie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. Bowtie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at bowtiebarbecueco.com.
BC Brothers Moving is here to take the stress out of moving. With honest pricing, reliable crews, and no surprises, there's no wonder why they're Savannah's most trusted movers. Reach out today for a quote and get ready to move the chains with BC Brothers Moving.
Serving fresh, locally inspired seafood since 1965, Despacito's Seafood Restaurant in Thunderbolt, Georgia is made with tradition, quality, and flavor you can taste.
Hey, Jim Lyons here. Marine Max Savannah is your one-stop shop for boating in Savannah. Whether purchasing a new Boston Whaler, Scout, or Sea Ray, or servicing and storing your current boat, we take pride in providing first-class service. Marine Max Savannah is proud to support Benedictine Athletics. Go BC!
Welcome back in here, 912 Cards Benedictine Football Kickoff Show. Just a few minutes away from getting things going here between BC and Hebron Christian Academy. But it's a new season. That means a new region here this year for BC as they reintroduced 7A. So now BC in 5A in Region 1 there. And some new opponents, but a lot of familiar faces for the Cadets this season, and a very successful week 1 across the region as we had a bunch of teams heading on the road to play some big games and getting some big wins. We'll start with Statesboro. They got a 44-7 win over Southeast Bullock to start the season 1-0. They're at Burke County tonight. That will kick off at 7:30. Richmond Academy, the Musketeers, for those of you not familiar with Richmond Academy, one of those new opponents in the region for the Cadets, they start the season with a win 14-12 at Laney. They're on the road again tonight at Thompson. The Evan Knights, another new opponent for BC, they got the season started with a win as well, 37-20 versus Harlem, and they'll stay at home tonight as they take on Greenbrier. And then you have Wayne County, a very familiar foe for BC. They won 24-21 against Liberty in a fun South Georgia matchup there. They are at Bradwell Institute tonight. Ware County, the team BC battled for the region championship last year. They got started with a huge win, probably one of the bigger wins in the state this past Friday, 22-21 at Cambridge, but the road does not get easier for the Gators as they are at Coffee County tonight. Back in the region with the Cadets this year is Jenkins. And again, a lot of history in that matchup, but a lot of history in the matchup tonight for Jenkins. They lost 31-6 at Lowndes, which was probably one of the more difficult asks for anybody in the state of Georgia this past Friday. Road doesn't get easier, and they're going to take on their former head coach, Jason Cameron, tonight at Calvary Day. So that's a fun one just down the street here in Savannah. Groves, another team back in the region with BC this year. They lost a tough one, 36-24 against Islands. Again, road will get easier as they stay down here in South Georgia for their next one, but they'll hit the road down to Brunswick to take on a Pirates team that's searching for their first win of the year. Brunswick lost to Camden to get the season started. But that's your swing around the region there. Again, some really fun matchups. We're going to be keeping an eye on all of them, but specifically that Jenkins and Calvary Day one, as you have Jenkins facing their former head coach in Jason Cameron. This has been your 912 Cards Benedictine Football Kickoff Show. Stay right here. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with your Huntington Bank pregame show, and then we'll get you to kickoff between Benedictine and Hebron.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home.
Hold on, don't say anything.
We shield
Check.
you so you can
All
have
right.
peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Dead or alive, we want your car. No matter the condition, running smooth or barely rolling, Cash In Carry in Savannah will buy it right off the road. Visit us now, get your instant offer, and turn that ride into cash today. We buy cars, any condition.
Good evening. Welcome to a drizzly Memorial Stadium, but the clouds are clearing behind us. Looks like we're going to have a decent night for some high school football, and it has been a long week, Christian Gokel, as we get ready for week 2 of the high school football season from a number of fronts. One, you got humbled in a big way against Toombs, and we'll get to that. 2, you had off the field stuff you had to deal with on top of that to get to tonight's ball game, and 3, you're getting ready to play a defending state champion, Hebron Christian, who has rolled into town tonight, the defending private class champion. Remember, they put 3, 2, and single A all into one classification for the playoffs. Hebron Christian won it, and they defeated whom? Calvary Day from just down the street. So defending state champ tonight coming in to take on Benedictine. Before we get to that game and the game last week, obviously you had talked with Coach Britt. We talked to some BC folks before. They had a lot of off-the-field stuff they had to deal with that they weren't happy about, not reflective of the BC character, attitude, projection that they wanted to put out there. And thusly, they're going to have one of their young men not with them, not even here in the park tonight, and we'll see how long that goes. But not going to be in uniform, not even at the stadium tonight in Colin Ward.
Yeah, and not officially announced what the punishment will be, but we know he will not be playing tonight, and it is a loss for BC because it's a guard, but it is something that was unquestionably coming and deserved, and hopefully he learns and grows from that. And if I know the young man like I think I do, he will absolutely do that. I think the coaching staff in the school or both staffs in both schools have handled it really well. So I think that's the beautiful thing about tonight, Kevin, is you get back to work and it is back to a routine. And I know all of these guys have been chomping at the bit to get back out here after what happened last week. It was just from beginning to end, nothing good in that football game, including after the game. You said off the field incident, on the field, off the field incident there. So I know these guys are ready to roll, and it's good to be back on Friday night.
And again, it's one of those things I know Coach Britt said after the game last Friday, nothing positive to take from it. He called it a whooping on his coach's show this week, and there's no other way to say it. Then that's exactly what happened. And Christian, you and I were talking about this. You're never as bad as you look. You're never as good as you look. And in a span of a week, you had both those scenarios where you looked poised to go win a state championship, in a scrimmage against Somerville and turn around a couple of weeks later and look maybe as bad as you've looked in several years just playing a football game in general. I mean, you didn't get a touchdown in the second half after it was out of control. Outside of that, you maybe had a possession or so that was halfway. One of your touchdowns was in plus territory, and so you really did nothing. Maybe save one drive where you did have a big touchdown pass to really say we look like we knew what we were doing out there. And they had to go back to work, and Coach Britt talked about that, saying, look, that's why you play good teams. You find out where you're bad, you find out where you need to improve, and you got another week, or now in this case 2 weeks. You got tonight, Camden, before you get into region play to figure it out and get better. And I think obviously this is a program that I think Coach Britt took that one personally. Said, look, we coaching, players, none of us were ready to do what we needed to do to go out there and play last Friday night, and it showed.
I think blame, and it's not usually the case because Danny Britt will be the first person to say the buck stops with me, but I'm going to say I think blame for last week can be spread out across the entire Benedictine football team and program. That includes me and you.
Yeah.
That includes parents. That includes the football players, football team, the coaches, anybody involved with the football program. I think the blame gets spread around, but I think the resiliency and the bounce back is what we're going to see tonight. We were all in the same boat after that Somerville scrimmage. We're like 41-9. Go ahead and just book some rooms in Atlanta. We're going back to state, probably 10-0, maybe 9-1 to be nice. And then last week, after those 2 weeks of build-up between the scrimmage and that football game, was just a huge, not even a serving. It was the whole pie of humble pie that got brought down on BC there. So I think it was a reset and a needed reset for the program. And like you said, you don't get that unless you're playing a team like Toombs. And Toombs handed it to you. They showed you what the standard is if you want to win championships in the state of Georgia. And BC, we're going to see how this football team comes back out. I love there's a video of inside the locker room at halftime for Texas Tech back in the day with Mike Leach. And it was after Michael Crabtree was gone and those incredible football teams. And he went in there and said, a lot of y'all in here are claiming Michael Crabtree's touchdowns. Those are Michael Crabtree's touchdowns.
Yeah.
Those aren't yours. There's a lot of Stephen Cannon and Bubba Frazier highlights and wins that are gone. That's in the past. It's in the record books. Nobody cares about that anymore. It's what have you done for me lately? And this team has to go out there and set their own standard and prove that they can be one of these BC teams that makes deep runs in playoffs.
And I think that's what was disappointing maybe about last week. And make no mistake, you have no slouch coming in tonight in Hebron Christian. They won their opener last week and are coming in to try to do more of the same from what they did. But I think what you and I, and even Coach Britt would say, but you and I talked about it in the aftermath of nothing that makes BC worked. Like
right.
You looked bad in what makes you good. Like you didn't stick with the buck sweeps and the counters and that kind of stuff. There weren't a whole lot of bubble screens. You got beat to the edge defensively. So everything you kind of, I hate to use this cliche, everything you hang your hat on as a program, like if we can't do anything else, we can run a buck sweep.
Right.
If we can't do anything else, we're going to hold the edge. And you didn't do any of that effectively or consistently in that ball game. And I feel like even Danny Britt acknowledged in his coach show, he's like, yep, we got to go back and just say, hey, what do we hang our hat on? Let's do that and go out and try to beat teams. And I think maybe we'll see a little bit more of that tonight.
That's the cool thing is there was nothing complicated about what BC had to do this week at practice. Like you didn't have to go in and say, what kind of formations are we going to be running?
Right.
Maybe some new install. It was back to the basics. We couldn't run the football and we couldn't stop the run. Cool. I know what we're working on all week. And from what Coach Britt said, the team really responded to that on Monday. It's interesting because you have in college football, you got Sunday and then it's back to work on Monday. In the NFL, they play on Sunday, probably take Monday off to recover, and then it's back to work. In high school football, you get 48 hours to just sit there and stew on that. The coaches are obviously up until 1 a.m. the night of the game and then back in the office early Saturday morning. But for those football players, you got to go home. No, every single kid has an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook, all social media. So they were consuming what was happening, and you just got to stew in that. There's a couple of different ways you can react to that. You can let that defeat you, or you can come back and say, I'm not going to let that happen again. And from all the word we're getting out of the BC camp, these kids came out on Monday and were fired up and ready to roll. So I'm interested to see what this football game looks like, because if you let Hebron, Clark figured this out last week up there at Center Park Stadium in Atlanta, if you let them jump on you, they will. It seemed like they were up 20 2-0 in the blink of an eye, and then Clark was just never able to crawl back into it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just kind of how the season folds. Why you're playing good people. Weather tonight, I mean, most of the afternoon it's just been bad.
Right.
We're seeing some glimmers of sunlight behind us there as this storm moves out. I think depending on whose app you check, maybe another cell comes through, but don't expect lightning. We talked to.
Oh, you just jinxed it.
I did, but don't expect a delay in that respect. And by and large, as long as it's not kind of been drizzling rain, the conditions aren't bad. It's cooled off significantly from what it was last week. So a nice night here in Savannah. It's still a little humid, but it's not 95 degrees at kickoff baking on that field.
Right.
The rain is gone. So as you were talking earlier, turf field, it should be fairly as if it never rained within a couple more, 10 more minutes, and it'll be, essentially dry again when it's all said and done. So some ideal conditions still here late in August, early in the season to play a football game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, last week you had so many cramps and it was so hot. I know it didn't feel quite as hot last week because we've been dealing with 97 and feels like 110 for about 2 weeks. And last Friday was really the first break from that. Tonight's even more so. You had the rain come in early, which we were talking about, hopefully beneficial. And since we got the lightning out of the way, because you don't have the heat of the day cooling down into the cool of the night, boom, thunderstorm like you see in Atlanta. Again, this is the week that we had last year against Buford where there was a 3-hour weather delay for us. So tonight is perfect, and I think good for the fans because it doesn't look like it's going to pour down too much more, but great for the players because you were dealing with so many cramps last week. Shouldn't see that as much tonight.
All right, Christian, let's look
Jack,
at this. Let's look at this team moving forward here into tonight. Let's talk Amari Burse. Started last week. I don't feel like the offense ever really got going, and you saw some of the things that you saw with Luke Kromenhawk, Stephen Cannon, Holden Gardner early in their time starting, which is, maybe wasn't good. There were flashes of good out there and great. Also, some opportunities you left on the table where there's 15 yards and you're trying to make a pass instead of, hey, just tuck it and go. Yeah. You're an athlete. Take your 7-8, get out of bounds, and you know what? We're moving chains and keeping drives going. And how do you just break out of that and take those opportunities that teams are obviously going to be dropping back to cover, Aaron Mallard and those guys as they go all over the field. Right. So there's going to be opportunities for you to say, hey, we can't cover everybody. Tuck it and go. And let's just pick up the yardage they're willing to give us.
Yeah, the cliche is you got to take what the defense gives you, and especially against these good football teams, if you're go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 10, you're in a really bad position, and all of a sudden you're counting on picking up 4 to 7 yards coming up so you can make it a 3rd and manageable. BC did not do well on 1st down last week. So I think when you're looking at something, you're like, the offense didn't play well. Okay, why? Like, what are the reasons why it didn't play well? Was it turnovers? Offense didn't turn it over. You turned it over on special teams, and you gave up a special teams touchdown, but offense did a good job, just really couldn't move anybody. So I think the number one thing you have to do, especially against another championship defense, is you have to get 4 to 5 yards on 1st down and just stay ahead of the chains. You talk about BC being BC. It's hard to be BC when you're in 2nd and 10, and everybody knows you're going to try to throw it or you're going to try to run a screen, and they can just sit in their base defense. You have to force them out of what makes them comfortable, and that's when all of a sudden they blitz somebody. Aaron Mallard comes underneath on a tunnel screen, and it's 70 yards for a touchdown. You have to force them to do that. You do that by taking the 4 to 5 yard gain. There's a few times Amari last week, he's looking downfield. He does a really good job, I think, with his pocket feel where he'll slide up in the pocket. He'll navigate if the center starts crushing. He'll get outside the pocket, but he's never losing too much ground. But you saw him start working his way towards the line of scrimmage. He's like, cool, go ahead and get 7 yards. And then he'd throw it and try to force a pass in there and get broken up because it's too late, and you're back to 2nd and 10. Take the 5 yards, be in 2nd and 5, and just keep the offense rolling. Once that happens, all of a sudden they're having to defend the pass. Great. Stanley Smart guts them for 30 yards at a time. So it's the simple stuff that did not happen last week that I know was a focus this week in practice, but you're going to have to show it on the field tonight.
Let's move up front quickly. Going to be some shuffling along the offensive line tonight. What do you expect to see out of those guys? Still mostly the same guys, but some guys I think going to be kicked out to tackle.
Sure.
And new player there at guard.
Yeah, so I believe Reef Leonard's going to kick out to tackle, and then you're going to have Turner Walker, who has been playing tight end but is wearing number 50 because he's your 6th offensive lineman. He's going to kick in at that guard position, so that'll be your starting 5. A guy who's played football for you before, so you lose some size, but you have a lot of experience there as well.
believe we're getting ready for the national anthem, so we will continue along here on the Huntington Bank pregame show. We'll step aside so they can honor America here before the game. We'll come back, continue to look. Obviously, a lot to look forward to this week. Looking back defensively, where do they make adjustments coming in this game against Hebron? We'll get to that when we return. This is Watch BC Sports on the Huntington Bank pregame show.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the Shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Bowtie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, Bowtie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the Bowtie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. Bowtie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at bowtiebarbecueco.com.
My name is Chris Williams. My wife Corey and I own C. Williams and Associates here in Savannah, Georgia, and we are proud sponsors of Benedictine Athletics. We have 3 different offices in downtown Savannah with 16 therapists providing a variety of different services, including individual therapy, couples therapy, group counseling, walk and talk therapy, as well as mind in motion, which integrates traditional talk therapy with personal training. When it comes to mental health, having a game plan is important, and we're here to help you find yours.
BC Brothers Moving is here to take the stress out of moving. With honest pricing, reliable crews, and no surprises, there's no wonder why they're Savannah's most trusted movers. Reach out today for a quote and get ready to move the chains with BC Brothers Moving.
If you're looking for high energy, great food, and a perfect place to catch the game, look no further than Midtown Sports Grill in Savannah. Daily food specials, live music, trivia, and so much more. Stop by Midtown Sports Grill today.
Welcome back here to the Huntington Bank pregame show. Kevin Thomas, Christian Gokel here as we get ready for BC and Hebron Christian here tonight in Savannah. And Christian defensively, we mentioned last week, sideline to sideline, cadets were getting beat. They don't normally do that. That's been a kind of staple. We're going to hold the edge, force you back inside. Been some changes defensively. Some guys moving farther back in the defense. What are we looking at tonight as far as some of the changes they made in the week?
Yeah, be on the lookout for a few new guys in the secondary. Some guys you saw last week, but potentially in new positions because you are without Jonathan Black, at least for this week. Prognosis is good. Should have him back at least by region play, but he's going to be without your starting number 1 cornerback tonight. But, Kevin, if you are looking for an offense to get right against the run against, this is not the one. Hebron Christian Academy likes to run the football about 70% run, and they do it very well and very similar to what Toombs did. Only difference you're really going to see tonight is they're going to run their quarterback a little bit more, some midline read options. You think back to the old Cam Newton play where you kind of ride the running back, and if the defensive end goes with him, you go right underneath them. So they're going to stretch your defense sideline to sideline, but if you bust a gap, they're going to exploit it. So you're going to see some guys out there, both the Jacksons, Nick and Rasheen are going to have big games. Mr. Brown at the Buck is going to have a big game as well, but some new faces, but I think some guys who are starting to settle into the roles. Peyton Bean was our Cool Vibes player of the week last week, and he's going to have a big game at that safety spot. Just coming up, again, when you stretch somebody sideline to sideline, you need those safeties that fill the alley. We talked about the guys that we had last year with the Wyatt Esterbrookes and Mekhi Williams, how hard those guys would come up and hit, how good of tacklers they were. That's what you need in this style of defense. So they're going to be called on early and often. It's not going to be sit back and play coverage. You're going to have to be a head buster, and then you have to make sure on the back end nobody gets behind you.
And then finally, special teams tonight. I guess you just reset from what you've been doing and just call it one of those nights. I mean, I feel like the first punt was up in the air and kind of took a funky roll, and then it goes for a touchdown, and you feel like Amari never got it back. After that one, it was kind of lost the confidence in the punt game. In the kick game, you never really had much opportunity to do anything as far as kicking field goals. I mean, you saw a couple extra points, kickoffs. They were good, but you didn't get a lot of work in that game. Special teams needs to have a bounce back Friday night tonight.
Yeah, and again, you wonder how much of it was the weather just because of you didn't really get to see Toombs, so you didn't have anything to compare it against because they weren't really punting a whole lot last week, but it was so windy last week. And you're right. I think Amari's confidence got hurt a little bit after that first one, where it's just never seen a punt like it. Looked like he hit it good, went straight up in the air, and then came back behind the line of scrimmage, and a Toombs player picked it up and returned it for a touchdown. You had him against Somerville in the scrimmage, averaging over 40 yards a punt, which there's college punters who would love to do that, and Amari does it part-time. So I wonder how much of it was the weather, how much of it was, cool, I got this, I killed it against Somerville, and then all of a sudden maybe you lose focus a little bit. I expect the special teams issues to be rectified tonight, but if they're not, that could be a significant issue for the Cadets.
Certainly, again, conditions have kind of lightened up a little bit. Looking behind us, few clouds, but we expect to have a pretty good
the BC
weather
fans
forecast.
Matriculating from their cars.
Yeah, pretty good forecast for the ball game tonight. Again, we were 30 minutes earlier tonight. I'm assuming, we never asked specifically, but we're assuming in deference to Hebron Christian, so it wouldn't be as late a night getting back to Decula up in the metro. It is not. So if this game's over at 10, if they leave and go straight there, you're talking 3 a.m. Getting back to Decula after this ball game tonight. So, again, maybe just a little bit earlier for that deference in the ball game tonight. But other than that, should be a nice night for football. And, again, everybody looking to see how this Cadet team's going to respond after, just a head rattler last week.
The best way to get past something is to get back to work. And you have a chance to do that tonight against a really good football team, another good challenge coming in. And you're at home in front of your home fans. Again, really starting to fill in right now. Now it looks like the rain is going to hold off. So it's one of those nights where it's a great opponent that you're playing against, but dang, it's good to be back on the field.
Yeah, certainly. Go ahead and get that behind us and get back to doing what you do. And hopefully, as you said, we see some of those staples of Benedictine early on in this ball game. We are counting you down towards the kick. Only take a bend around the corner there. We are about 5.5 minutes away from kickoff. Captains starting to make their way towards the coin toss. Christian, we're going to take one more commercial break, and we'll come back and lead you up towards tonight's kick. This is the Huntington Bank pregame show on Watch BC Sports. Butler Enterprises is a family-owned and operated used car dealership. They have been in business for over 25 years and have hundreds of repeat customers. Come by and see why today at Butler Enterprises.
Want to make some extra cash just by sitting on your couch? At Cash and Carry in Savannah, Georgia, we buy any car, no matter the condition, and take it right off the road. Just visit the link, enter your car details, and get an instant offer. Cash and Carry, turning cars into cash without leaving your couch.
Plan your hunting getaway and escape to experience the beauty of Mossy Pond. Our diverse property right here in Pierce County allows you to enjoy various types of hunts, including plantation-style quail, hog, pheasant, and flooded timber-style duck hunts, all within 24 hours. At the center of it all, experience scenic, rustic, beautiful, and inviting amenities like luxury lodging, our first-class pro shop, fine dining, and the perfect event space. Book now and see why Mossy Pond Lodge is Georgia's premier hunting paradise.
My name is Chris Williams. My wife Corey and I own C. Williams & Associates here in Savannah, Georgia, and we are proud sponsors of Benedictine Athletics. We have 3 different offices in downtown Savannah with 16 therapists providing a variety of different services, including individual therapy, couples therapy, group counseling, walk and talk therapy, as well as mind and motion, which integrates traditional talk therapy with personal training. When it comes to mental health, having a game plan is important, and we're here to help you find yours.
Hey, Jim Lyons here. Marine Max Savannah is your one-stop shop for boating in Savannah. Whether purchasing a new Boston Whaler, Scout, or Sea Ray, or servicing and storing your current boat, we take pride in providing first-class service. Marine Max Savannah is proud to support Benedictine Athletics. Go BC!
Welcome back here to the Huntington Bank pregame show. Captains making their way out. Benedictine wearing the maroon helmets, maroon jerseys, and the white pants. Tonight it will be Stanley Smart, David Ongiri. It Isaac Scott, and Amari Burris, your 4 captains for Benedictine tonight. Hebron Christian, kind of the opposite of Benedictine. They got the maroon pants with the white tops, maroon numbers, and they wear a black helmet with a gold lions on the side. So there you go as the two teams look to come out towards midfield. Christian Gokel, I know as we get asked every week about the video or no video, I'll let you explain your deal as we do have like an extra option here in 2026 for folks.
Again, requested by
this week.
Yeah, requested by the school. Home games are radio broadcast, but this year, if you tune into the YouTube channel, coming up tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, because I usually post it about 3 a.m., you can see the full broadcast and catch up on anything that you missed video-wise. So radio only tonight for the live broadcast, and then if you tune in either really late tonight or tomorrow morning, you can catch the full video broadcast.
Depending on your perspective.
Yes, and again, that's to encourage people to get out, watch live, and for the fans who aren't able to make it, have another option. And we will have some select games throughout the year on video. Just stay tuned. We don't know which ones will be, so if you're in town, you got to buy a ticket, but audio only tonight.
So captains out there have made their way for the coin toss. Again, a nice night shaping up here for football. It was raining pretty good when we got to the stadium here. Christian, BC has won and deferred, so they're going to play defense first. Hey, I know at their core, Danny Britt's a defensive guy. After last week, hey, let's put our defense out there and see if we can't man up, so to speak, on this first drive and kind of reclaim some of the stuff we lost last week.
100%. And if anything, last week too, Kevin, having an opportunity to get the ball coming out of the half when you were down was a big boon as well for the Cadets when you were trying to find something offensively. So I like it. Let's put that defense out there, see what they were able to work on in practice this week. And again, good to be back on the field.
Certainly will be as the captains return to their respective teams, and they'll let them know that the Cadets will be on defense first. And again, we will see how the Cadets respond. They all get back behind the Let's Go Cadets sign as they get ready to enter Memorial Stadium. And in front of this home crowd, a little bit of redemption from a week ago against a very good Hebron Christian team who has come down here tonight to take on the Cadets. Of course, it doesn't get any easier next week. You step up to 7A against Camden County here at Memorial Stadium as well. So Danny Britt sticking true to his word. Hey, we want to play as tough and as good of folks as we possibly can, and they have done that here in 2026 in the early season schedule. So both teams out on the sideline, and they get their final remarks from Coach Danny Britt before we're ready to go. Cadets will kick it from left to right to start, so they'll be kicking, if you're familiar with Memorial Stadium, out of the open end zone, out of the north end towards the south end, which contains the field house here at Memorial Stadium. And so, again, obviously a hot start is what you're looking for here, Christian, and that's going to start off the leg of Parker DiTomaso.
Yeah, and last week I think BC really respected the return guys for Toombs, and so you saw a lot of shorter kicks around the 20 to 25-yard line, then, hey, go make a tackle before the 35. DiTomaso could kick it, and he's been able to consistently put it inside the 5-yard line, so I'm curious if you see BC try to put him deep early.
Apparently, even BC and Hebron were confused. The officials have swapped them, so BC will be kicking out of the south end zone, the field house end towards the open end of Memorial Stadium.
I'm trying to think of a team to compare Hebron's uniforms to, and the best I can do is the away uniforms for the Washington Commanders when they're wearing their new black helmets.
Pretty close.
That or like New Mexico.
So they will kick it from right to left. DiTomaso going to tee it up. Hebron's got Jared Stowers. And it looks like maybe Holden Mears back there deep. If I can, he's got that single digit tucked up under the pad, so haven't got a good look at it. So here's DiTomaso to get us going here. Week number 2 against Hebron Christian, and we are underway. He's going to drive it up the right side and going to come down at about the 1, chase him into the end zone. He's going to run it out. And up the left side, breaks a tackle, brought down at the 16 on the far sideline. Nice open field tackle over there. I think maybe that might have been Jack Cannon with the tackle over there on the far sideline.
Yeah, Grady Ward in there as well. And again, Kevin, trusting him to hit it deep, almost put that one into the end zone. It actually pulled the return man back into the end zone, but he had already established possession, and now you got somebody starting inside the 20. So nice change of pace there.
So Hebron going to come out with two wides, a back to either side, as Christian mentioned. They are heavy run. Yeah, they will take the snap, and a give goes straight up the gut. Cadets read that nicely, and that's going to go for no gain. I'm trying to make sure I got the quarterback's number correct. A single number stuffed up under the on both sides. You can't really get it pulled down and see what it is.
Yeah, Will Brown making the start tonight at Buck gets a really big tackle right there. One change you're going to see, they've kicked Klein Peter back to one of the safeties, so it'll be the two Jacksons on the inside and Brown at the Buck position. As I say that, Nick Jackson's kicked out the Buck, and they have Brown on the inside. But those three guys are going to be your linebackers.
So here's a snap on 2nd and 11. They'll give it on the Buck sweep. Now reverse coming back the other way. Cadets read it well, and a cutback tackle is made. That is going to be Nick Jackson making a tackle out there at the 15. They hit the reverse to Dylan Hudson.
And we talked about
another loss.
Sealing the edge and staying home. That's a great job by Klein Peter there. Staying at home as his safety, running the lane and forcing him wide, and then let the troops come and rally. Nice job there by Jackson getting out to make the tackle, but much better through these first two snaps for the Cadets.
3rd and 12 now for Hebron. They're going to have to throw the football. Seeing a lot of maroon helmets flow into the football here early, Christian. That's a good sign on defense. And now the Lions will put twins here to the short side. One receiver soloed up out to the wide side. Here's the snap and a straight drop. Looking, he'll throw out, and it's going to be caught. And a tackle not made. That's going to be a first down. Knocked out of bounds on the far sideline by Peyton Bean, who got the open field tackle, but that's enough to move the chains for Hebron Christian. So 3rd and long, Cadets give up a first down.
Yeah, Dontre Ford playing soft there and really kind of fell off his man. You got to know they're just going to try to get it to the sticks, and he was about 5 yards off his guy. They throw the comeback route right at the sticks, and he misses the tackle as well there. So, again, filling in, making a start tonight. Just those early jitters, got to get those out of the way.
That'll be Jordan Green, the quarterback, throwing one to the wide side of the field and helping them pick up the first down. So same formation here, but just on the other hash, the far side hash, are the Lions here on 1st and 10. They'll put a man in motion. Somebody moved. I believe it might have been the right tackle.
Yeah.
And that'll back up the Lions 5 yards, make it 1st and 15.
And those timing plays are hard for everybody, especially when you're on the road. I think that was going to be one of those quick touch passes you see a lot at the college level right there, and offensive line just got a little bit of a head start.
Yeah, Justin Castro, 6'6", 315.
And he looks it. That is a good-looking offensive lineman right there.
So now Green in a shotgun. He'll roll here to the near side. Looking, throw it up. Up, has a man, going to be caught. What an adjustment to the ball that was by number 8, Holden Mears, and he'll have the first down at the BC 35.
Yeah, it was good coverage there. They just run a flood concept, and Klein Peter was in phase, but it's one of those things where you could see it in his mind. He did not want to interfere with the pass catcher, so he never got his eyes back around to find the football. Again, you got to trust your athleticism. He was right there with him. Just got to turn around, find the ball. Or if anything, when you're that far downfield, go ahead and interfere with them.
So Lions up quickly on the football at the BC 35. They'll put an H-back in motion. Here's the snap. They'll go straight ahead, and inside the 30 to the 29 goes, I believe that is Stowers. And he'll get about 5 on first down. They'll mark him back at the 30, so it'll be 2nd down and 5.
Yes, good football, side to side, over the top, and then they come and punch you in the gut right there, and they're at 2nd and 5 here, so everything in play right now for Hebron.
Green in a shotgun, H-back to the left. He is a lefty quarterback, by the way. He'll ride the belly in that time. Who was that? That was
Like Caden Thomas.
Caden Thomas coming off his edge, makes the tackle, no gain. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that was a really good job there that time by Carson Granger and Isaac Scott on the inside. Just created a pile. They weren't going to make the tackle, but also they didn't let the offensive line move them, and that gave Caden Thomas time to come off the edge and make that play.
So another big 3rd down here. 3rd and 5, and somebody moved. Yep. That time it was the left tackle for Hebron Christian, so that'll back them up 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, they're not a huge passing team, but think back to the Paul Johnson era kind of Georgia Tech teams where they're not going to pass a lot, but when they do, they're going to try to take shots. And you look at the receivers right now, those are some tall dudes out there, and they have height advantages across the board at receiver. So BC going to have to be comfortable playing one-on-one because they're going to take some shots.
3rd down and 5, 8:15 and rolling here in the first quarter. Green is in a shotgun. He'll take a snap. He'll look, throw it out to the wide side, and it is going to be dropped. Had a man underneath the coverage. Nicely done by Dontre Ford. It was going to be a heck of a catch. He just couldn't come away with it. It'll be 4th down, and looks like Hebron's going to punt the football.
Yeah, it's the same play they picked up the first down on, just that comeback route right at the sticks. Better job by Dontre that time, turning and running with his man. The guy still had a chance to make a catch, but it was going to be a tough one. So better job there. Again, these are huge snaps for everybody in the secondary.
Wait a minute. They're going to try to kick a field goal. This will be a 52-yarder for Lucas Ardo, a senior, 5'9", right down the middle of the field, a 52-yarder.
Good thing about if you miss in high school, it's just a punt.
Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it is not going to make it. It's going to hit the end zone, but as Danny Britt has often said, that's as good as a punt. The ball comes out to the 20 and no return, and BC will have its first possession of the night. Christian, and we'll get our second look of the year coming out here at Amari Burst in this cadet offense.
Yeah, and you see how fired up everybody is coming off the field right now. Coaches pounding shoulder pads. You gave up a couple of big throws right there, and you really thought this team would be pounding the football, and then you adjusted. You made some plays. You took advantage of some penalties right there. Got a big stop. Now, offensively, can you do the same thing? And Kevin, a little twist right here. Start with Aaron Mallard in the backfield.
There we go. So
you scouted this week? Did you scout this?
Stanley Smart is in the slot to the right. They'll put him in motion. The snap. Amari going to fake it, give it to Aaron Mallard off the right side. Has a little bit of room and squeaks across the 25 out to the 27. A gain of 7 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Yeah, just a classic spread play where you're going to fake it one way to the man coming in the jet, and then you just come back underneath the handoff to the running back. Nice job by Aaron right there, and a really good job by Liam Dolan coming across and sealing the edge.
This time it's a give. The little counter coming back here to the near side. This is going to be Cole Henderson at the 40, at the 45, and pushed out of bounds at the BC 49-yard line. That's the BC brothers moving the chains, first down, and the cadets coming right back to some staples, some counters, and some sweeps out of a different formation, but getting the job done.
Running the rock, and now they'll go quick here, Kevin.
Hurst is lined up, trying to get his offensive line set out of a pistol. This time, bad snap, and it's just going to fall on it back at the BC 46, and Omari's going to pound the turf here at Memorial Stadium. Was not a good snap, and if you're going to try to have some kind of read concept, that's the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, just a low snap right there, and Amari, I think, was already trying to read the linebacker. Looked like there was going to be some kind of RPO, so low snap, took his eye off the ball. Just a bad combination, but a good job by Amari to get back on top of that football, avoid disaster.
Trips to the right, one here to the near side. Now high snap dialed in by Amari, and there is Stanley Smart out towards midfield into Hebron territory at the 49. So he'll get 5 on second down. It'll be 3rd down and 9 from the Lions' 49-yard line.
Yeah, and I wonder, Kevin, if you're telling Amari right now, hey, you have 2 downs, so try to pick up 5 or 6 yards right here, and then from there we'll determine if we're going for it on 4th.
4 wides here for the Cadets, twins either side. They'll put Stanley Smart over to the right side. They're getting the adjustment here from the sideline. Hebron with a 3-man front, 4 linebackers. Here's the snap. Burst going to have to step up in the pocket. Flushed out here to the near side.
Wide open.
Has a man open. Aaron Mallard, 25-20, 15-10. He'll walk it in. And a touchdown. 49-yard hookup from Amari Burst to Aaron Mallard. And the Cadets are on the board 6-0 with 6:24 to go here in the first.
Yeah, that was a great play by Amari Burst, but the play is made by Stanley Smart, staying in, great pass protection. They blitz a corner, and they rock a safety up on Aaron. Stanley does a great job picking up that blitzer, and then Amari slides up in the pocket, find some depth, and then they come up, try to stop him from running, leave Aaron Mallard wide open for a huge touchdown. And how cathartic is that for the Cadets?
Huge. Just come out right out the gate and put together something and make it happen. And here is Parker DiTomaso with the point after to make it 7-0. Snap is good. Kick is right down the middle. It's good. 7-0. Cadets over Hebron Christian are coming right back here on Watch BC Sports.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Cadets take their first possession and go 80 yards for a touchdown. The capper being a 49-yard touchdown. Amari Burst to Aaron Mallard, who snuck behind everybody and was wide open and walked it in for a touchdown. So right back on defense. Here's DiTomaso to kick us off one more time. And he'll boot it up the right side. It's going to be Mears again at the 2-yard line. He'll come across the 5, 10, 15, 20 up the left side and knocked and shoved out of bounds. Dontre Ford out around the 26, 27-yard line. And that's where the Lions will take over for their second possession.
Yeah, that one a little bit more of a line drive kick there from DiTomaso. So kind of outkicked his coverage a little bit. Nice play by Dontre getting down there and making the tackle, preventing a big return. So now, Kevin, I think the more you let these guys in the secondary kind of flow together and get reps, the more confidence they'll get. And what I think is cool is you expect Jonathan Black back sometime soon. Now you're kind of building some depth right here early in the season.
Aaron Brown in at defensive end for BC's. Carson Granger getting a rest to start this drive. Here's the snap. They're going to give it end around, and Isaac Scott going to chase him down from behind and bring down Stowers, and maybe a yard to no gain. We'll see where they mark it. But when your D lineman's tracking him down on the jet sweep, that's a good sign.
Yeah, it's great effort there by Isaac. They kind of left him alone because they were running away from him, and he just flowed straight down the line. But the play is made by Gavin Smith, who just stonewalled that entire side of the line, and a really good job by Dontre as well, holding up with his with his blocker.
So here's Green, trips to the right here for Hebron on second down. We'll call it 2nd and 10. They give him no gain. And here's the snap. Green looking here to the near side. Throws across his body, out caught at the 30.
Good tackle.
Before he is brought down in the open field by Damari Perry. And that'll be a gain of about 5 out towards the 30, maybe 4.5. It'll be second down. We'll call it 6. Third down, and we'll call it 6. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and again, just soft zone coverage right now from BC. They're doing a good job communicating, and it's, hey, you're going to give up the 2 to 3 yards, but then you come up and make a tackle, prevent the big play. I don't know that they feel overly comfortable right now getting up and pressing these guys just because of the height advantage.
2 H-backs in, no, 1 H-back. They'll move him to the left here. Twins up top. Here's the snap. Green rolling, throws it underneath. They're going to be caught and tackled immediately by Peyton Bean, who's had a great game and a quarter here so far in 2026, but not before he gets the first down. And just a good route concept where Bean's in coverage, but the throw underneath and to the outside, you're not going to be able to break that up, and made the tackle, but not before he got the first down.
Yeah, and again, just a really good concept right there. You cut the field in half, really take the determination out of your quarterback and make the read easier on him. So big third down pick up there through the air.
Green's going to give it ahead to Stowers. He gets nothing. That was eaten up by everybody on the inside of that line of scrimmage.
And listen, the reality is it's a very base defense right now for BC. You're breaking in some new guys, but if they're going to beat you through the air, fine. What you're not going to let them do tonight is what happened last week, where it's just getting gutted up the middle over and over again. So BC saying, hey, if you feel like you can go 25 for 30 for 3 bills through the air, fine. We'll tip our cap to you, but we're not going to let you pound the rock.
They send a man in motion. This is Mears out towards the left. The snap to Green, looks here near side, and it's going to be caught and hit immediately by Damari Perry, but out across the 40 to the 42 goes the catch. It's going to be third down and call it 7 here for Hebron Christian.
Yeah, another short gain right there, and really a couple of plays now for Damari where he's made really good tackles. He's not afraid to come up and stick his nose in the chest.
Catch was made by Michael Kyles, 6'5", 190 pounds there for Hebron Christian. So when you talk about winning those jump balls that Christian was talking about, that's what you're up against. Green brings the receiver in motion. And here's the snap. Looks out, far side, going to pump fake. Now go deep and has a man and knocked away. Incomplete. They're going to call interference, and I'm going to guess it's because Damari Perry never got his head turned around, but it was going to be a jump ball situation with him and 6'5" Kyles, and the ball was underthrown and hit Damari in the back, and they call him for interference.
Yeah, again, a really almost a perfect rep for Damari until the very end. And you just got to, at least, you're not going to see the football, but at least turn your head to pretend like you're seeing the football, and then the flag stays in the pocket. But he was staring at the guy the entire time. The guy had to try to jump over him to make the play. Officials are going to call that 4 out of 5 times. So unfortunate for BC. But, again, you're stopping the run. You just got to find a way now to get out the field on third down.
That moves the ball to the Cadet 43-yard line. 1st and 10 for Hebron Christian. They'll put twins here to the near side, one up top. Green takes the snap on a straight drop. Looking, they'll go right up the left side again, right back at Damari Perry, and it's going to be knocked away. And a flag comes out super late, and that gets all the BC coaching staff off the sideline. I got to say, there was contact, but I don't know that Damari interfered. That was
you got to give him
good coverage.
He almost picked the ball off. You got to give him a chance to make a play. And that time he corrected what needed to be corrected. He turned around, found the football. That was a bad call. The first play, fine. That he had his head turned around, but that time that was perfect coverage by Damari. And Danny Britt's going to call a timeout.
No, this is a I'm mad timeout. He's like, he called timeout and said, "Come over here. We want to chat real quick." I don't think he's upset with his defense. This is give me an explanation as to how that was poor defense on my guy's fault. So timeout.
Yep.
We're going to take one with him here as well. This is Cadet Football on Watch BC Sports.
JVP.
Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium, and Danny Britt has spent the entirety of the timeout getting an explanation. I think this is a fair thing. Like some people say, why aren't you with your team? I think he's making his point, Christian, as to what do you, and coaches talk about this all the time where it's like, what do you want me to tell my guy so you don't call that?
Yeah.
Like, in my estimation, he's playing good, but if you're going to throw a flag on that, what do you want me to tell him to not do so we don't get that penalty? And I think he's wanting that explanation from somebody out there.
Well, and you got to do it early because you just can't keep letting this happen. That's 30 yards now of field position that they've picked up because of pass interference call. So you got to get out in front of it early with the official. And credit to that sideline official. He came over and was part of that conversation, and it looked like Danny Britt was doing a clinic down there about how to cover. So hopefully that's addressed now. And a lot of times you have that conversation, you'll make them second guess pulling that flag out of their pocket.
So it's 1st and 10 for Hebron from the BC 28 after the penalty. And here's the snap to Green. They'll give it on an inside give, and it gets stood up. Gavin Smith on the bottom of that pile at about the 26-yard line, a gain of about 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8.
And it's just the beauties of playing nose tackle. Isaac Scott got driven back by 3 guys about 15 yards. But, hey, if you want to play 9-on-10 football, you got the 9, we got the 10, that's fine. But Isaac went on a journey.
So 2nd down and 8. Hebron will put 2 to the top of the formation. Back to either side of Green. They'll fake it to Stowers. They'll throw up the left side. Receiver ran the wrong route. Almost intercepted by Damari Perry, but it was too far out of bounds. And that time, Hebron very fortunate. Receiver ran the wrong route. Damari Perry was the only one in the area. Had that ball been in bounds, intercepted.
Yeah, BC kind of got fortunate right there. It seemed like there was a mix-up. They just ran a flat post concept. I think the quarterback thought the receiver was going to carry the flat to a wheel, but he had the post wide open in the middle for a touchdown. So you had a bust in coverage right there. And I think, again, the scouting report is BC has a pretty senior-laden defensive line, very new secondary.
Here's the snap roll out to the left this time. Green throws it over the top, in and out of the hands. Had a receiver in between two BC defenders. I was looking for Hudson, and Hudson couldn't hang on. It's going to bring up 4th down and 8 from the Cadet 26-yard line.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough completion. Again, really sticky coverage right there, but I think, 2 consecutive passes right there. We talked about this team coming in 70% run. They're trying to get it done through the air right now, and BC doing a better job here sticking with them on this drive. Maybe sticking a little too much on the pass interference calls, but much better than the first drive.
So here's Ardo to kick the field goal. They tried a 52-yarder. This one will be a 43-yarder right down the middle of the field for Ardo and Hebron Christian. Here's the snap. The kick is a line drive. Does it have the distance? It does. Got over the crossbar and good. 7-3, a 43-yarder for Hebron Christian. 2:40 to go in the first. This is Cadet football here on Watch BC Sports.
Welcome to Sandnat Golf Carts, where luxury meets quality. We offer a wide selection of top-notch custom golf carts to suit your every need. With our extensive inventory, you're sure to find the ride of your dreams. Plus, our flexible financing options make it easier than ever to drive one off the lot today. Whether you're cruising the neighborhood or joyriding with the family, Sandnat Golf Carts is here to provide exceptional service every step of the way. Visit us today to elevate your ride.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Hebron Christian on the board with a 43-yard field goal. And that makes the score 7-3. Cadets out in front. So first chance for the Cadets to receive a kick. It's going to be Stanley Smart and Aaron Mallard back deep. Let's see if the Lions elect to kick to either one of those guys. And Ardo, nope, just going to pop it up. Going to be caught at the 30-yard line and taken there across the 35 to the 36. One of those upbacks for the Cadets. Let's see who comes out of there.
That was Griffin Ward.
With it, Griffin Ward.
And get some pats on the shoulder. Or is that no, the other one? Grady Ward.
Grady Ward.
But really nice job. They're trying to kind of catch you flat-footed right there, running back and blocking. They did a good job watching. Again, last week they had, because they were pooching it so much, that was Stanley Smart and Aaron Mallard were up there. That's a nice job by that front line coming up and making a play. They need a fair catch, though. He said, hey, this is my time to shine.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up some field position.
Got maybe 7-8 extra yards out of it. As the Cadets come back out, they'll put trips here to the left, one up top. And the give will be to Stanley Smart running here to the near side and got turned around and still on his feet. And second effort might get 6 inches, but that was amazing that he got that much because it broke down there on the left side.
And it's interesting because when you watch this defense, it's 3 down linemen, and then you have 6 guys about 7 yards off the line of scrimmage, almost in a straight line. And then some corners a little bit deeper than that. And it's like, okay, cool, run the football. What you're not witnessing is they fly up to the edges immediately, and it's a really tough defense to play against.
2nd and 9, looking out in the flat. Peyton Bean, incomplete. Omari just threw it, I think, a little too wide out there. It's going to be 3rd down and 9, just like that.
And, again, that's one of those things where it's not a receiver you've thrown 1,000 passes to, so you don't quite have that timing down yet. That's Aaron Mallard. He's probably catching that in stride. You're still trying to learn how to throw it out to Peyton Bean. But now, Kevin, we mentioned it, gets stuffed on 1st down, incompletion on 2nd down. Now you're 3rd long.
So 3rd down and 9. For the Cadets, twins either side. Burst is going to put Stanley Smart to his left. Straight drop for Amari. Looking, has a man over the middle, in and out of the hands of Karan Hall. And it's going to bring up 4th down. And the Cadets are going to have to punt the football, which means Amari is going to stay out there and punt this one away.
It's a great concept and a great route. Pass maybe a little bit high, but Karan touched both of his hands. Got to haul that one down.
Something I want to ask you about after this punt from Amari. Through a couple of possessions here for BC. From the BC 38-yard line. Here's the snap. It's a good one. And a kick, a nice one. A wobbler that's going to hit down at the 25. Coming up the left side across the 30 to the 34 before being turned around by Grady Ward. Again, the ball's loose. They fall on it, but I think they're going to rule he was down at the 30 as they tried to rip it out of the hands of Holden Mears. But Christian, couple of possessions for BC. Turner Walker in there at guard this week, and Reed Flintard having to get kicked out to play tackle as they've had some shuffling on that offensive line due to suspension. So far, we haven't mentioned his name, which is a good thing. It means he's probably holding his own inside there at right guard.
Yeah, and again, a guy who's not unfamiliar with playing at big-time football games, but I don't know that it could have gotten much worse for the offense than last week. But now I think through these first couple of possessions, this held up well. Amari had a really clean pocket there on third down. But, again, just like with the secondary, you have some guys playing together for the first time. Got to find that rhythm.
1st and 10 from the Hebron 30 as they start this drive. Quick out pass is incomplete. And everything is to the outside for the most part for Hebron Christian here. And that one incomplete, I think maybe goes down as a drop as he was looking out there in the flat for Kyles.
Yeah. Well, with this base defense that BC's playing, they're going to be soft in the flats. And right now, Hebron trying to take advantage of that. BC, like I said, I feel like at least between the 30s, they're okay with that. If you're going to matriculate your way down the field with passes in the flat, fine. We'll get tight when you get inside of our red zone. But really nice job so far stopping the run.
This is Stowers trying to turn the corner. No corner to be turned because he was turned back by Nick Jackson right at the 30-yard line. A nice open field tackle and bring up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, and it was really good penetration that time from Will Brown and Isaac Scott. Kind of made him take a more sideline to sideline kind of route trying to get out there, and nice job coming and cleaning things up there.
So 3rd down and 10. Twins here to the short side. One up top. Here's the snap. They're going to look all the way. Flag comes flying out. Up in the pocket is Green. He will get to the 35 and no farther because he was laid out by the
That's Will Brown.
Will Brown and Nick Jackson.
Yeah, that time BC walks up and plays press coverage on the outside. Damari does a good job, and I think they're going to get holding on Hebron. So if I'm BC, you got to imagine they're backing them up. So it's 3rd and 20.
It'd be 4th and 5 from the 35 if they take the play.
I guess you got to.
They're going to wave the flag off. It'll be 4th and 5.
Well, now you don't get a choice, I guess.
Danny Britt doesn't seem too upset with it. I think they were going to take the play regardless and say it's 4th and 5. We want the football back. And Hebron will run on the punt team as Aaron Mallard will trot back to receive the punt. And it will be Ardeaux punting for the Lions as well. Got a pretty good leg. I mean, they tried a 52-yarder, 43 made it across. And he will handle the punting here.
That is a heck of a swinging gate right there.
And here's the punt. High hanger up the near sideline and going to hit and take a right turn out of bounds at about the BC 20. Is he stopped yet? I'm going to say the 25-yard line. 25-yard line where the Cadets will take over. 56 seconds to go here in the quarter. And again, you've kind of survived a couple of drives here from Hebron. Got right back off the field. Now an offense's chance. Hey, let's put something together here and put some points on the board.
Well, and what you got to do now is the goal's got to be at least a first down because your defense has now been on the field a lot here in this first quarter. So that starts to add up as things go. Again, what do we say the goal was for the offense? Start with baby steps, pick up 4 or 5 yards on first down, and then build from there.
So here is first down. The snap from Amari. End around to Mallard. He'll push across the 25 to the 26. And he got swallowed up by a big one there coming off the end. That's Fred Moses, 295, just wrapped him up and said, you're not going any farther. And so some tough sledding there makes it 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, and from the edge, they're just sending people full tilt. And a lot of times you can counter that by quarterback pulling it or coming back the other way. We know that's certainly in BC's repertoire.
4 wides now here. Now they'll put Stanley out here to the left, putting trips there. Amari all by himself. Here's the snap. Amari going to trot here to the near side, trying to direct traffic. Thought about tucking and going. He's going to get brought down behind the 25 at the 24, a loss of 2. And going to be tackled by Ryder Cole, inside linebacker there for the Lions. And that's going to do it. Most likely for the first quarter, going to bring up 3rd and 11 when we start the second quarter. 7-3 our score. This is Cadet football. Cadets out in front on Watch BC Sports.
Want to make some extra cash? just by sitting on your couch? At Cash and Carry in Savannah, Georgia, we buy any car, no matter the condition, and take it right off the road. Just visit the link, enter your car details, and get an instant offer. Cash and Carry, turning cars into cash without leaving your couch.
Welcome back here. Second quarter, just about ready to get started. The Cadets will have 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. A little bit behind the stick. Maybe we'll call it 3rd and 11.
And I like the play call there. You kind of both sides, you got doubles stacked on top of each other, and then you kick Stanley out into the slot. And a lot of times BC will run screen on that. So what they were banking on, you pump the screen, and then you got 2 guys running down the seams. Hebron, give them credit. They did a really good job there, just sitting in zone coverage, eyes on the quarterback. And Amari had nowhere to run. So just a great defensive snap. Sometimes you got to tip the cap to the play caller right there, and really good execution there by Hebron. And now, if you're BC, you just got to avoid disaster here on 3rd and 11. If you pick it up, great, but just get into 4th and manageable and punt the football if you need to.
So 3rd down. They flip sides. Cadets working left to right here in quarter number 2. Again, wearing maroon helmets, maroon tops with the white pants tonight. More the traditional look here in week 2. They'll put twins either side on 3rd down. Amari, straight drop. Look, he's got time. Now flustered a little bit. Going to step up underneath. Was trying to do a delayed, I don't know, maybe a delayed leak out from Stanley Smart out of the backfield, and Stanley was not quite ready to receive it. Tough throw at the same time. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, give him credit. Again, just rushed 3 that time, dropped 8 into coverage, and good job by Amari not trying to force one in there. And Stanley, realizing he has nobody to block, kind of leaks out at the end. But by then, Amari was getting pressured. So now 4th and long. And again, not being able to pick up much on 1st down puts you in a tough spot, and you're forced to punt again.
Double safeties back for the Lions. They've got Dylan Hudson and Holden Mears. Here's the snap. A good one. Amari sends it high up in the air. Nice punt. Going to be fair caught at the 45 of Hebron. So not a bad punt there by Amari. That's where the Lions will take over 1st and 10 from their own 45.
Now BC, this will be the worst field position they've had to deal with so far. And they've done a better job getting sticky on the outside. You see Hayden Hoffman checking in. I think they're going to give Peyton Bean a rest because he was just in on offense. But again, another new face in the secondary.
That's the tricky part early in the season. You just can't tell guys to play. I need you to play 65 plays on defense and 65 plays on offense.
Do you see Hebron sideline? That is exactly what they are doing.
Well, that's what they are doing. Yeah. If you don't have to do it, you don't want to do it.
Develop that depth.
So here we go, 1st and 10 from the Lions 45. Green will put a receiver in motion across the formation to the right. Here's the snap. Green, straight drop. Looking all kinds of time. Going to throw down over the middle. Wide open and incomplete. Looking for Kyles. And there was not a cadet within 10 yards of Kyles. And you see some miscommunication in the defensive secondary there.
And Peyton Bean will check back in. I mean, it's great play calling. You see them put in a new safety, and you just immediately take a shot at him. It was there, and the quarterback just overshot him by a couple of yards. BC has now dodged 2 touchdowns. And I wonder how much of that was – because literally the same play was going back on huddle because they missed that in the red zone before. Just ran the same play right there, and it almost hit again. So BC has some communication issues clearly right now, especially in the deep passing routes. It's never a good feeling. Get your 1 snap.
That's right.
He'll be all right.
2nd down and 10. Here's a snap to give straight ahead. That's going to be 7, 8, 9 yards. They'll give him 8 out to the BC 48 by Hudson.
Yeah, they go back to that 3-man.
Excuse me, that was Bo Bennett with the carry that time. So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Again, they're inside BC territory at the 48. Cadets have a linebacker up close. They'll roll Green out to the right. He'll throw right and overshot. Not a chance. And it'll bring up 4th down. Let's see if Hebron goes for it or if they try to pin BC deep. They haven't trotted on the punt team yet. BC hasn't put on their return team yet either. Now they trot on the punt team. And it'll be Ardo back to punt for the Lions. He'll stand at his own 40. Aaron Mallard at the BC, inside the BC 10. Let's see if we can watch for a fake. 4th down and 2. And high snap brought down by Ardo. Rushes one off, end over end. It's going to hit and take a huge bounce. Mallard at the 5. Stutter steps and tries to work back near side. Makes a man miss up at the 10, 15. Out across the 20. And boy, the fact that he got that far after he looked to be surrounded back there at the 5. And all that considered, BC 1st and 10 from the 20.
Yeah, that's a Aaron Mallard play that you're not going to see anywhere in the stat book. But you go from 1st and 10 at your 6 to 1st and 10 at the 22 just by him making 4 guys shaking their boots right there at the 5-yard line. So huge play there by Aaron in terms of field position because that was a great punt.
So now the offense, again, needs to get something moving. Trips to the right here on 1st down. The snap. There's a little flare screen out in the flat. This is Mallard across the 20. Makes a man miss. 25, 30, 35, and held on and drug out of bounds at the 36-yard line. If Aaron could have shaken that, they would have been gone. But at 1st down, BC Brothers moving, firing up the bus, and they will move the chains for a 1st down.
Yeah, and that's a great block that time from Cole Henderson to spring that one. But, again, good play call to get out in front, something positive, and a big 1st down for BC.
Here's the snap. It's brought down. Stanley Smart running here to the near side. 40,
Stanley.
45, 50, 45, 40 up the near sideline. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Oh, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds.
He did.
He's still going to have a 1st down, but they're going to say half a foot stepped out of bounds at the 37-yard line of Hebron. Danny Britt saying, I don't know. He's doing a little turf movement down there.
Yeah, from up here, it seemed like just the edge of his foot out, but another big play by BC, and now in striking position.
That Cadet's going to move quick. And now what do we have? And Hebron says, wait just a minute.
So they're going a little fast.
We're going to call timeout after that big run. We'll step aside. 7-3 our score. This is Cadet football on Watch BC Sports.
Bowtie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, Bowtie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the Bowtie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. Bowtie Barbecue Company. Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at bowtiebbq.com.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Coming out of the timeout, big Stanley Smart run. He was ruled to have stepped out of bounds at the 37 of Hebron. That's where BC will have 1st and 10 from there. They tried to, I think, take that change of pace and catch Hebron sleeping, and the Lions had to quickly adjust and call a timeout to try to slow that down. And Coach Davey across the way said, not so fast.
Yeah, I want to go back to that run from Stanley Smart because I love my wife, McKenna. I love her. But if I could marry the pin and pull, I would. And BC ran it to perfection. I mean, it's never a good sight when you're a corner and a safety and you got a guard and a tackle both out in open space running at you. And BC ran that to perfection.
1st and 10 to snap. Same play back to Stanley Smart. He'll try to get the corner turn, not doing anything that time. Nicely done by Hebron. They sent helmets flying. Tackle initiated by Cam Brown, one of those linebackers. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
And Stanley Smart is a hit-the-hole running back. And that time, if he had bounced it, it potentially could have gone for a bigger gain. But he hit his hole, followed his blockers. That's just a better job defending that time by Hebron.
So I miss it. Shouldn't it be 2nd down?
I think they're fixing it. Yeah,
there you go. 2nd down. 2nd down and 11. Out of the pistol. They'll give to Smart. He makes a nice cut. 35, runs over a man at the 30 down to the 29. Nice gain of 9 on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, good job there by Liam Dolan stepping in at that tight end position that Turner Walker's been playing, coming back on a crackback block right there and sealing the edge and letting Stanley spring.
3rd down and 2. They stay in that pistol. High snap. They'll give it to Smart. He'll bounce left side. Cut back inside. Nice open field cut. To go back to the middle of the field. He gets inside the 25 to the 24. And that's the BC Brothers moving the chains, 1st down.
Yeah, same play again, but just a zone. So Stanley has the option to kind of stutter step and read. And that time they crashed down on the right side of the line. So he cut back and picked up the 1st down. That's your Virginia Tech commit running back doing Virginia Tech stuff right there.
He trips out to the left, twins to the right. Omari's gets pressure in his face, flushed out to the left, tuck it and go. Inside to 25, bounces off a tackle, stands up and works his way towards the 21. And he got planted at the 21. It'll be 2nd down and 7. But Omari,
he took it.
Yeah, he did take it.
Now, we're building.
Yeah.
Now we got to slide.
And he ate a tackle attempt there.
He sent a young man back about 3 yards. But again, you send him back. Okay, take it, get down, slide. We need you, brother. And he tried to go shoulder to shoulder again with another guy. He got rocked. So, Amari, good. Take it what the defense gives you. Get down. Now slide. You're a baseball player, a great baseball player. Slide.
I think young man had the wind knocked out of him across the way there for Hebron. Keith Becker, linebacker. He's up and moving around the way he's kind of been over at the waist. I think he was the one that ran into Amari, and maybe Amari just got him in the gut and stood him up and knocked the wind out of him. One of his teammates came in quickly and planted Amari on the turf.
But again, they are doing a really nice job of, I don't want to say guessing, but it's a educated guess, I think is the best way to put it. But just picking when BC, they feel like they're in a passing down and just dropping 8. And it's really kind of putting the hitch in BC's giddy up right now because you have nobody running open, and they're doing a good job keeping their eyes in the backfield and limiting Amari with his legs.
2nd down and 7 here for the Cadets. We got Thomas Brennan in at one of the wide receiver spots. He is way out by the numbers here to the far side. Here's the snap. They'll give it to Stanley Smart straight ahead, 20. Down to the 15, still stumbling and bumbling at the 11 when he's brought down. That's a 1st down. And a BC Brothers moving the chains, 1st down.
Yeah, and again, you're just in the zone running scheme, and it gives Stanley Smart the ability to use his vision, make some cuts, and pick up some big yards right now, and BC threatening.
They'll put Aaron Mallard tail of the pistol here. Here's the snap. They'll give it to Aaron. He'll go straight ahead, and that got ate up at the 15. Good penetration right up the middle over there by Hebron Christian. I think they move Stanley to the H-back maybe to give him a rest for a second, but still have him on the field, and that one goes for a loss of 2.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. It's the same play again, just with a different player, and maybe you're trying to fool them saying, okay, running backs in the slot, they're going to throw, but they did full-on run blitz right there that time. It gets tight down here in the red zone. This is where your quarterback legs can really come into play.
So 2nd down, call it 12, back at the 15. They'll put Stanley out to the right. Here's the snap. Omari looking, throws it, has a man caught. Touchdown right in between defenders. That's Cole Henderson. Touchdown, BC. They lead it 13-3.
And just an absolute rope from Amari Burst. Reads the zone defense and layers that one in nicely between over a linebacker and in front of the safety right there. That is pinpoint passing from your quarterback in a tight red zone opportunity.
I was going to say that was a big-time throw from Amari Burst. Now here's DiTomaso for the point after. And that may be the best start-to-finish drive we've seen in the early portion of the season by the Cadets.
100%, and that's just – you kind of play with fire a little bit sometimes when you're just rushing 3. Amari had a clean pocket, could step up, eyes downfield, and delivered a great ball.
So the point after from DiTomaso is on the way, and it is good. 14-3, 7:42 to go here in the first half. Cadets up. This is Cadets football on Watch BC Sports.
My name is Chris Williams. My wife Corey and I own C. Williams & Associates here in Savannah, Georgia, and we are proud sponsors of Benedictine Athletics. We have 3 different offices in downtown Savannah with 16 therapists providing a variety of different services, including individual therapy, couples therapy, group counseling, walk and talk therapy, as well as mind and motion, which integrates traditional talk therapy with personal training. When it comes to mental health, having a game plan is important, and we're here to help you find yours.
couple of 80-yard drives tonight have gone for touchdowns for the Cadets. That one capped off by a 15-yard Amari Burst to Cole Henderson touchdown. And the Cadets lead at 14-3 here in the second. As Di Tommaso ready to get us going once again. Let's see if they pooch it deep. I've tried one of both here in the early going, Christian.
Yeah, and this is where defensively for BC you can really tilt this football game. Hebron having to play a bunch of guys both ways. That's just the reality of the league that they play in. If you can get a stop right here and put your offense back on the field, you can really put a dent into this football game.
Kickoff comes down at the 6. Out across the 15. Nice open field tackling by the Cadets on special teams. Down at the 16-yard line. That was what Thomas Brennan brings down.
Backup quarterback.
Returner Hudson.
Wide receiver. Stud kickoff
safety.
Coverage unit. Let's go.
That's when you just say, Coach, I'm a football player. I play wherever you need me to go.
That guy is a heck of a football player.
So now Hebron backed up inside their 20. 7.5 to go before halftime here. Cadets with the 3-man front. A linebacker walked up on the outside there. 4 wides, twins either side, packed in close to that line of scrimmage. As here is Green out of a shotgun looking. Lefty's going to let it go. Has a man over the top caught. That's Kyles. 6'5 frame brings it down at the 35. Tackle made quickly by Ben Kleinpeter, but not before the Lions get a first down at the 34.
Yeah, just a bench concept right there. You have your 2 outside guys run 5-yard outs, and then the inside receivers go on your flag routes right there. And a really good job fitting that in between the corner and the safety right there. But if you're Kleinpeter, you got to commit. You know nobody's coming over the top of you. You're just responsible for that half of the field. Come up and make that play.
Out of a shotgun once again, 1st and 10 from their own 34. Green looking, throws up the right side this time, has a man, tried to make the one-handed grab just a little too far, looking for Kyles again. And that was Damari Perry and Peyton Bean running in double coverage there, and it'll be second down.
And you see that time by Damari. He had his eyes on the football the whole time, and if you look, Kevin, he's having a conversation with the ref like, was that good? Was that okay? Was that better? And it's curious, Kevin, you're down 11 right now. You are a great running football team, but they're insisting on throwing the football right now, and we really haven't seen a whole lot of quarterback run from them tonight either, which is something they can bust, and I think they're going to take a timeout. But he is a really talented running quarterback. I wonder how much of it is, do we potentially save him for region play? We don't need to get him banged up against a BC defense that is out there trying to make some plays tonight.
Yeah, possibly so. But again, we didn't expect to see as much passing.
Yeah.
They've kind of rolled him into his throw side a lot tonight, where you normally say, hey, don't take a lefty quarterback and roll him to his left, but they've done that a number of times, and again are trying to work hash marks out in a lot of their concepts tonight, not so much over the middle.
Again, he just hasn't seen a couple of touchdowns, so the concept is certainly there, but again, it's hard to ask a team that is predominantly run-oriented to be fluid in the passing game. They might pop a couple of explosive plays, but again, you're kind of playing with fire, because just as easily you can go 3 and out or be a 3rd and long and put yourself in a disastrous situation. So really talented running football team. I don't know that BC is potentially complaining down there about it. Like, man, I wish they'd run it up the middle a lot more. But it's definitely not what we expected.
Yeah, defending state champions in the private classification, that AAA to single A, and they beat Calvary for the state championship last year. And so this is a team that, much like BC, has their sights set to late in the season as well, and they want to play the Cadets to kind of show what they could be up against down the road. Here's out of the timeout, 2nd down and 10. They'll ride the belly, give it on the end around, and this is going to go for 8 yards off the right side. It's Hudson. Brought down, who was that? Number 9, Dontre Ford. But it'll be 3rd down and 8.
And that's more of what we thought we were going to see. You send a man in motion, basically your A-back from the flex bone, send him in motion, and you just do that midline read. And what it does is it keeps the defense kind of in no man's land because they don't know who's actually going to run the football. Quarterback hands it off. They have the edge, and a big pickup right there for 3rd and manageable right here.
So 3rd and short, call it 2. They're at their own 42-yard line. Cadets will walk an extra linebacker up at the line of scrimmage. Here's the snap. They'll give it ahead to Stowers, trying to turn the corner. He's going to get the corner turn, and Kleinpeter going to hit him right at the midfield stripe. but not before the Lions get a first down off the just a jet sweep coming here to the near side.
Yeah, BC did a good job of stringing that out, but just a better job there by some blocks on the edge. The corner couldn't come up and make the play, so you build the fence is what they call it, and BC built it all the way down the line until you got to the corner and just couldn't quite get off of that block right there, just enough to come up and pick the first down up. I mean, the play took 8 seconds to pick up 3 yards, so that's how far he ran from all the way from the other hash.
1st and 10 from midfield for Hebron Christian. Here's the snap. Play action, looking, Green, going to wind it up, pocket collapse, it's going to be sacked! Gavin Smith comes free and takes him down from the backside at the 40-yard line, a loss of 10. It'll be 2nd down and 20.
Yeah, coverage sack, and that was a great job because it's the same play that BC's busted twice, and it's just that post-wheel concept right there. Peyton Bean and Dontre Ford doing a really good job communicating right there. Everything was covered up. Gavin Smith, relentless effort right there, and a huge sack. Really the first big explosive play from BC's defense tonight.
5.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Here is Green out of a shotgun on 2nd and 20. He'll roll to the right, looking underneath, going to be caught by Kyles and dropped. BC wanted a fumble, but no football move, if you will. Steal that terminology was made, and it'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, and again, just good coverage right there. You're giving them those 4 or 5 yards, and you're going to come and make a play. But that time, receiver trying to make a play without the football, drops it. And so now 3rd and not quite 20, but getting there.
They got a long ways. 5:25 to go in the half. Let's see if the Cadets can get off the field here and get the ball back. They will have the ball to start the second half as well, so possibly enough time for a twofer here. Here's the snap. Green looking. Throws over the middle. Going to be caught at the 45 of BC. Pulled down. Ben Kleinpeter at the 45. Gain of 15. It's going to bring up 4th down.
I was going to say down 11 here. 5 minutes to go. Offense hasn't done a lot. BC scored now on a couple possessions. You're inside BC territory. You just go ahead and go for this one. Or you're also within 5 yards now. Do you just try to draw BC offsides, pick up that first down?
Yeah, that was complete to James Gosling, wide receiver.
Go watch the ball.
So 4th down. Yeah, there was the hard count. BC kind of leaned, didn't go across.
Carson Granger with a big exhale.
Yeah. Are they going to snap it on 4th down? Yes, they are. Green looking, throws a little quick out route, going to be caught.
Yeah.
And again, you're playing soft on the corners. And probably 5-6 yards off. He just turns around, catches it, and falls down, does Kyles, and that's a first down for Hebron Christian.
And I understand the frustration from BC fans because it feels really easy, but what you're trying to avoid with this offense is, okay, you jump up on that, and then they go behind you on a double move, and it's a touchdown. You'd rather give up a 4-yard first down than that touchdown. So it can be frustrating, but you got a young secondary learning right now and a really experienced Hebron offense here.
That's up 14-3. Here's 1st and 10 for the Lions in BC territory. This is Stowers. They'll run the reverse back here to the near side, and nicely done, Isaac Scott. He's not going to get credit for the tackle. That's going to be Ben Kleinpeter, who brings Stowers down at the BC 37, but Isaac Scott held the backside edge, and that's what made that tackle possible.
Yeah, you know it's a busted assignment on the offensive line when your quarterback is trying to seal the nose tackle on the reverse, and I'll give him credit. He stuck his nose in there, but it wasn't quite enough to stop Isaac Scott. And then again, good job by Dontre Ford on the backside, holding his edge as a corner, and a nice job by Kleinpeter running that alley to come up and make a tackle.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9, gain of just 1 after that reverse. And we have whistles, not sure why. I don't think anybody called timeout.
2nd down and 8.
I think even the lead officials like, why are we stopping?
Oh, they're just
sideline warning against BC.
There's no flag. Oh, I guess there is down at the end.
Hebron Christian had half their team off to the sideline.
Yeah, and Danny Britt's upset because
like that's a free timeout.
Yeah, they've used this to bring their team over, call some timeouts, and water some guys up.
So 2nd down and 8 from the BC 37. Green's got two receivers up top. He'll put a man in motion across to the right, so trips up there. Here's Green rolling right side. Smith in his face, throws back across the field. Could have been intercepted. He had big 51 in his face.
And you mentioned it, Kevin. They have been booting him to the right a lot, and Gavin Smith does a great job getting free and getting a rush on the quarterback right there. And anytime that you're running and then throwing back across your body, it's in your head. You're like, oh, that's about to be a pick. And it landed between 4 BC defenders. So fortunate for Hebron, but really nice defensive snap right there for the Cadets.
So third down and call it 9. They got 8 on the scoreboard. It might be 8 3/4.
And I'll say this, they just kind of, obviously we're happy he's up at App State. Going to be making big plays here in a couple weeks for Mekhi Williams, but it seems like that play every single time was, and the Mekhi Williams touchdown.
So third down here for the Lions to take the snap, rolling him right again. Green looking, throws it short, bounced it out there, incomplete. And again, you're kind of rolling him into where he's got to throw across the body a lot here. And I'll bring up fourth down, and BC going to get this football back.
Do they try to kick this one? Why not?
I mean, they tried a 52-yarder earlier.
Again, in high school,
punt the football, it looks like.
And in high school, if you attempt a field goal and the ball lands in the end zone, it's like a touchback, so it just goes to the 20, so you're not giving up field position, but I think this one might be a little too far to attempt.
Yardo.
I say that. Okay.
Now, the big man's not going to hold the football.
Hey, he's an athlete.
The swinging gait, as Christian said on the punt coverage, is big 71, 6'6", 315 pounds.
I don't think we'll be blocking anything up the middle.
Here's Ardo. He'll hang it up the near side, and it's going to take a bounce. It's short, out of bounds, the 19-yard line. So about as good as a touchback, and you keep it away from Aaron Mallard. So now the Cadets have 81 yards to go. 78 yards. The ball rolled.
Yeah.
Clearly inside the 20. BC getting a free 3 yards here.
And their coach is having a conversation like, we all saw it.
Yeah, it's like it hopped over the 20 and then went out of bounds.
Yeah. That said, interesting how BC approaches this because you have scored twice here in the first half, but none of it has been overly fluid, and you don't want to give them a great opportunity with a ton of time here. So if I had to imagine BC, how these next 3 plays goes is going to determine how aggressive you are.
Trips to the right for the Cadets here on first down. Snap to Amari. Bobbled the football, bounced right up to Stanley Smart, and there he goes, right up the middle, 35, after the 40, 45, 58, nobody catches Stanley. Go, Hokie, go, up the left sideline, that's a touchdown. And what we saw off that punt return last week, Christian, maybe a little payback there, a bad snap, bounced off the turf, right into the hands of Stanley Smart, 78 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, the football gods giveth, and the football gods taketh away. Last week they tooketh away. This time Amari wasn't ready for the snap, hits him in the chest, falls on the ground, bounces right up to Stanley Smart, and the entire defense froze because they're looking at the football. Stanley Smart takes advantage, basically turns into a kick return, usually not going to catch him. And, again, BC will take it.
Here's DiTomaso for the point after. One play, 78 yards. How aggressive do you want to be again, Christian Gokel? It's 21-3. Cadets out in front. We'll step aside. This is Cadets football on a Watch BC Sports.
Cash and Carry wants to buy your car. New, used, running or not. Miles don't matter. We pay cash on the spot. Fast, easy, and hassle-free. Call today. Cash and Carry, where your car turns into cash.
If you're looking for high energy, great food, and a perfect place to catch the game, look no further than Midtown Sports Grill in Savannah. Daily food specials, live music, trivia, and so much more. Stop by Midtown Sports Grill today.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. A light mist has begun to fall. So light, I saw people moving up. I'm like, why are we moving up? You can't see it unless you're looking right under the light stanchions, and you can kind of see that precipitation coming down, but not very hard at all. No wind really to speak of, so whatever clouds are moving aren't moving very fast. But looks like we're going to play this final couple minutes of the first half under a light mist. So here's DiTomaso left to right. After the 78-yard touchdown run, the kick hangs it up around the 15 on the hash mark, coming down across the 20, 25, and a nice open field tackle at the 21.
Makari Makari Grant on that one. Big number 68 out there making plays.
There we go. Nice open field tackle. Young man getting in a chance. That's 68. No, yeah. So was it 68 or 88?
Yeah, 68.
So 1st and 10 off the return from Dylan Hudson.
And they're excited about Makari. I said, why is he wearing 68? And I feel like it's a very third Scroggins number where he came in as a freshman wearing 65. That took about 1 year, and then he was in 11 for the rest of his time as a cadet. But he's going to be a ball player.
From their own 26, 1st and 10 for Hebron Christian. Hudson goes in motion. Here's Green. He'll play action roll here to the near side, looking, and going to be forced out of bounds, but not before Dontre Ford delivers a shot right at the sideline. They'll give him a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down. Clock continues to roll. They're going to say he stayed in bounds. 2:20 and counting.
And Danny Britt having a conversation with Dontre right now. It looked like Dontre was trying to help him up and like pull him off the sideline. But Danny's like, when the quarterback starts going down on the sideline, just let him go. Because if you touch him, they're just going to assume it's a personal foul. So just young guys learning right there. Don't have to be cordial on the
Cadets
sideline.
Not set up on defense. Here's the snap. Oh, and a bad snap. Ooh. Nobody was in good shape there. They ran the motion. It's a legal procedure against Hebron Christian. They ran the motion across, one of those where you snap the ball to Reed. They snapped it late, hit the back and the legs, but they blew it dead for procedure on time. And probably fortunate BC was still shuffling guys along that defensive front. They were not set.
Yeah, BC was trying to shift their strong side right there and flip a defensive end around, but also fortunate there. I think if you're Hebron, you're going to take the false start over the potential fumble loss.
They'll run the same play. They'll ride the belly. Now quarterback's going to keep it himself across the 30. Ooh, lowered the shoulder. And he was brought down up the middle by Dontre Ford and also Klein Peter.
And I've been expecting that probably 7 more times here in this first half. And you just haven't seen it. You get everybody moving one way with that motion man, pull it out of his gut, come back up the middle with the quarterback, and you can usually bust a big play.
Here's the snap. Green rolling to his right again. Throw underneath, and incomplete. Almost was caught by the wrong receiver, but incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down and 4. That time, BC's got a couple of backup linemen in. They got Nasiah Higginbottom, a sophomore defensive lineman, in there, and also Aaron Brown, a junior, on that defensive front, giving some guys some rest here.
I was going to say, if you can steal, it's kind of like a basketball. Before the break, if you can steal that extra possession of rest, it just goes that much further, getting these guys a breather going into the second half. But, Kevin, we almost had a Georgia-Auburn tip drill kind of a play right there, because BC had 2 guys converge on the receiver, made a great play, and it tipped out and almost fell right into the hands of a waiting receiver. Fortunate for BC, he wasn't able to hold on to it. But now you should get great field position. I'll have all 3 timeouts and a chance to put some points on the board.
Here's Ardo to punt it away. Hangs one high up in the air. Beautiful punt, going to go out of bounds. How far up the sideline did it travel out? Still walking. And he'll throw out an anchor at the 36. 66 seconds to go here for BC. They've got 60. Oh, I thought he was still walking up. 64 yards to go here to hit pay dirt.
Yeah, and we don't know just yet, live action, what Parker DeTomaso's range is, but you have time here, Kevin. Again, 3 timeouts and a chance to put some points on the board.
And you get the ball coming out of the locker room.
Correct.
Trips to the left, twins to the right. Empty set for Amari Burse. They'll put Henderson in motion. Here's the snap. They'll fling it out to Cole. Oh, what a catch on the little flare out. It gets across the 40 and pushed out of bounds at the 42. That's the best 5-yard catch you might see all night. That could be our catch of the day right there on just a little flare out pass to Henderson. And he, had to reach out in front of him and grab that thing one-handed.
That was a great job by Amari, waiting and just letting the man coming up to stop him clear. He flies by Cole, and then Amari, don't know, plays shortstop for the Cadets. He's got an okay arm. No, that dude can zip it, and he threw from shortstop to first base right there and almost peeled the gloves off of Cole Henderson's hands.
So it'll be 2nd down. Clock is stopped with 58 seconds to go. Call it 4. for the BC 42. Burst caught. That is
Good,
Karan
Karan.
Hall across midfield and shoved out of bounds. Stops the clock again. That's a BC Brothers moving the chains first down, and it goes into Hebron territory at the 44-yard line of the Lions. So methodically moving their way down the field here, just working the sidelines.
Yeah, RPO right there. Could have handed it. Stanley likes to keep it and just hits Karan on a quick 5-yard button hook. Great play right there.
Here's the snap to Burst. They give to Stanley Smart straight ahead inside the 40, makes a man miss. Cuts back into 30, 25, 20. There goes Stanley again, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. 44 yards, Stanley Smart into the end zone. And he's got 2 huge carries here in the second quarter, and that's blown things open for BC. It's 27-3 with 44 seconds to go.
A great job blocking up front, and they just playing pass defense, just rush 3. Stanley Smart breaks past the first level. And if you're running towards him and he's running at you, you're not going to make a play on number 5. So BC, great play calling there, great execution by the offensive line, and I think starting to wear down a Hebron team that doesn't have a ton of depth.
Point after is good with 44 seconds. It's 28-3. Christian will keep it right here for the final 20 seconds or so of the first half. But BC, again, this is one of those things how quickly fortunes can change. That's why coaches say keep fighting, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing. It's 28-3 with, like we said, 44 seconds to go. You would never know. Good ways into this second quarter. It's 14-3 ball game, and BC was kind of still trying to figure it out offensively.
Yeah, and again, it's going to take some time to where this offense feels fluid, but it's really been interesting this first half through 23 minutes. It started sluggish, and just slowly but surely they've started making pushes and really starting to find their rhythm here offensively. I'd say the same thing on defense as well. You could just we're watching these guys grow here within 2 quarters. The 2 things are true. Toombs is really good.
Really good.
Also, BC wasn't as bad as what they showed last week. So a really good opportunity here over these next 2 quarters to find some rhythm and get some guys some great experience.
So here's DiTomaso. He'll kick it up the right side. This time it's going to come down to Stowers at the 10. He's across the 15, 20. Missed tackle at the 20 out to the 24-yard line. That tackle wasn't missed. He was brought down there by number 42, Will Clark. And that's where Hebron will take over. Now, an interesting decision for them. I believe Hebron should only have 1 timeout.
Well, I think the onus is on BC. How aggressive does Danny Britt want to be here, where if you get a stop here and incompletion on first down, do you potentially start calling timeouts?
They only have 2. Danny Britt, of course, took that one in the first quarter to
that's right.
ask about Pat. And this is the beauty. You have all this technology, and for some reason at Memorial Stadium, they never take the timeouts off the board. So,
hey, everybody's building. We're getting better 1 game at a time.
There we go. So let's see how Hebron wants to attack this. Here's a snap to Green. He's going to drop back looking. Here comes the blitz. Flag is thrown up the right side, looking for Kyles. And, Kyles kind of alligator-armed it. It looked like he had his man beat and just kind of stuck the hands out to catch it, incomplete. But there is a flag on a play thrown at the snap. So either BC was offsides or somebody jumped real quick.
Yeah, that or formation, but they're kind of pointing at BC. I'm talking to Danny, though.
You almost want to say it was offsides because it was thrown as soon as the ball was snapped.
Yeah, it's got to be that or formation. Yeah, illegal procedure.
That's against Hebron. They declined the play. They decline it, just leave it as it is. 2nd and 10 here. Here's Green. Tried to get BC to jump on a hard count. Now try to do it again. Going to check back to the far sideline. Cadets making their own adjustments here on defense. They'll put a man in motion. It's Denton. They'll ride the belly, give it to him off the right side. Tries to get the corner turn. Nice backside tackle. Brought down by William Brown that time, and he's had himself a heck of a game on the defensive side so far with some quality tackles. It'll be 3rd down and 7. And BC called a timeout. That's why first down was important. Still have another one. Now this puts the onus on Hebron to get a first down, or BC's going to call a timeout and make you punt the ball back.
And I always like doing that. You can't take your timeouts with you into halftime. So if you get a stop here, incompletion, or they run it, you call your third and final timeout, at least make them execute a punt. I mean, how many times have we seen disasters just on the snap right there? And also you have Aaron Mallard back there returning punts, so it's just giving him another touch and a chance to put some more points up on the board. So I like it. A lot of coaches in this situation just let the clock run, get into the half, and we'll come back out and play. I love Danny Britt being aggressive right here.
So now if you're Hebron Christian, what do? Again, BC's getting the football to start the second half. Offensively, you haven't been able to really get inside the 25-yard line at all for BC tonight. It's been moved between the 20s, and then you kind of stall out. So don't want to punt the football back, I would imagine, if you can help it.
Well, the third down play call tonight, and unless BC all of a sudden changes their defense, has just been run 5 yards, stop at the first down mark, and turn around to catch the football. So I'd run that again, force BC to stop it. And, again, BC can stop the clock either way, so it's not going to hurt you.
They're playing a little tighter coverage here on the outside. They've got Rasheem Jackson out in coverage as well. Here's the snap. They're going to give it to Stowers. He's intercepted. Oh, my goodness. The lumber was brought, and the truck that hit him was William Brown, and they never got the corner turn. They're actually going to lose a couple yards, and BC's going to use their final timeout with 17 seconds to go. So they tried to get BC on the edge, nothing doing. And that time, Christian, what you're talking about, they had the wall built, and William Brown ran the alley and just laid the lumber.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing tonight what's going to be more indicative of BC's run defense. Still, they've been able to get the edge, but they're an offense that really practices that and executes that well. But BC's done a much better job of setting up the blocks and then letting your linebackers and safeties run those alleys. And so far tonight, haven't busted an assignment, because we saw that a couple times last week where you had two linebackers hopping into the same hole. Really good running back for Toombs last week was able to exploit that. Tonight, much more sound defense from the Cadets.
Looks like the Cadets are going to play this safe on the punt. You got, who was that, Dontre Ford and Aaron Mallard back. Damari Perry was walking back that way. I was like, that's a heck of a trio to kick to any one of those guys. They've all got speed.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you potentially setting something up here? Do you have a trick return in the playbook?
And I think that's
the reverse, all of that.
Yeah.
So what you do is, if somebody's going to catch it, the other guy runs and acts like they're catching it as far away as possible as it can. So
let's see what
and BC's setting up for return, it looks like.
17 seconds to go. Ardo to punt it away for Hebron. He stands at his own 16-yard line. Here's the snap. It's a good one. Punt is hung up high. Boy, he's got a nice-looking foot. Hangs up for Mallard, going to fair catch it at the 38-yard line, and that's where the Cadets will take over with 11 seconds to go here in the half. I mean, it's worth taking it one shot deep. That's basically what you got, and if you don't get it, you're probably going to kneel on it and go to the house.
Yeah, a couple of different ways to approach it. You can try to run something at the sticks, get out of bounds, and then if you're at the 50, Amari can get the football to the end zone, or try to run a screen here and just say, hey, we've seen Aaron Mallard or Stanley Smart bust these runs before. Just give them another touch with blockers out in front and see if they can make a play.
So 11 seconds to go. Again, just I don't know if you classify it even as a light mist. You can only, like right here in front of us, we can't see it raining.
But it's just visible humidity.
It's under. You can see it kind of under the light stanchion just a little bit. Not a lot of umbrellas out. So here we go, 11 seconds before the half, 28-3. Cadets out in front. Four wides. Amari's going to roll here to the near side. They try a double move. Amari's going to wind up, throw it deep up the right sideline. Nice adjustment, Aaron Mallard, but it was out of bounds. And the Cadets will have 3.9 seconds to go before the half. And now, I guess you could try it again and see what happens, or just kneel on it and say, hey, we're getting the ball back in just a few minutes anyway.
Like I said, I like a little screen pass here. Run some people deep, get that tunnel built underneath, and see if you can bust one.
So 1/10 under 4 seconds to go here before the half. Trips here to the right. One receiver is Karan Hall out to the left. The snap to Amari. They'll just give it straight ahead. This is Stanley Smart, and he'll be drugged down at about the 43 of BC. Give him a gain of 4, and maybe trying to get a delayed draw to catch him sleeping. Nothing doing. Cadets, though, had a lot doing in the first half, and they head to the locker room up 28-3, a far cry, Christian Gokel, from what we saw a week ago. We're coming right back. It is the Bernard Williams halftime report coming your way. This is Cadets football on Watch BC Sports.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the Shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Welcome to Sandnat Golf Carts, where luxury meets quality. We offer a wide selection of top-notch custom golf carts to suit your every need. With our extensive inventory, you're sure to find the ride of your dreams. Plus, our flexible financing options make it easier than ever to drive one off the lot today. Whether you're cruising the neighborhood or joyriding with the family, Sandnat Golf Carts is here to provide exceptional service every step of the way. Visit us today to elevate your ride.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. We are at the half. 28-3. Cadets out in front over Hebron Christian. And again, if you look at it, Hebron, I don't think, has gotten inside the 20-yard line of BC all night long. Just a one field goal, a 43-yarder, and a 53-yarder that was incomplete. Outside of that, not much working for Hebron as far as a long, consistent drive. Cadets winning the battles up front and kind of back more to the side-to-side teams we've come to know and love under a Danny Britt defense. We're not going to get beat to the edge, and they certainly aren't doing that tonight.
Yeah, and again, I think BC getting back to the basics and a couple of changes where potentially you were trying to run guys on both sides, offense and defense, last week. Tonight, it's you're letting these guys stick to where they're playing and, hey, make mistakes and learn and grow. And I said it earlier, I think it's fascinating to watch these guys grow in real time because specifically in the secondary, we've seen it. Damari Perry, it goes from pass interference to same play, great play, but they still call it pass interference. Now they try to run that same play 3 or 4 times at him, and he's been in lockstep with the guys. So you're watching these guys grow in real time. That's hard to do when you're just sending guys back and forth. Let these guys get in and settle. And tonight it's been Kleinpeter stepping in at one of the safety spots opposite of Peyton Bean. Dontre Ford getting some reps while Jonathan Black is out. To me, that's saying, hey, you could potentially have 3 guys that you feel really comfortable rolling out there at cornerback right now. So it is a far cry from what you saw last week. And again, I don't know that you will see a team like Toombs unless you make it back to Atlanta, because that's certainly where they're going to be. But that's one of the top 5 teams in the state, and you're not going to see a whole lot like that this season. So really good first half for BC. We say it, you're not as good as it looked, and you're not quite as bad as you think it was. So BC, I think, kind of growing there in the first half, and it was cool to watch.
Yeah, offensively, Christian, again, much better. I think you saw more of what you've seen, the bread and butter, if you will, from BC. And then, of course, to end the half, you just had a dude being a dude, as Danny Britt likes to say, and that was Stanley Smart. You gave it to him, he busted 78 yards. You give it to him again, 48 yards for a touchdown. So 2 carries, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards right there, your last couple possessions. That'll work most games. But it was, as you said, one cut and go. He got through the line, one cut on the linebacker, and nobody was catching him.
Yeah, and again, it's just you got to get these guys into space, and we knew it was coming because you can't keep those guys bottled up too much for too long. And Hebron came out in the first quarter, I thought played a really good defense, but I think the lack of depth started to show. They have to play guys multiple ways, but also, even if you had backups, the defense just started being on the field for longer and longer periods of time for them. And eventually there in that second quarter, the dam kind of burst, and you had Stanley Smart making big plays, Aaron Mallard catching that one on a broken coverage right there. So it's what you expect to see from these guys going forward in the season, but you have to do that by doing the fundamentals right, forcing the defense into leverage situations, and then you can start making those plays. Amari started completing passes. They had to loosen up the box a little bit. When they do that, boom, Stanley Smart shining.
I was going to say, you had in that first half your guys making plays. Amari, a couple of touchdown passes, one to Aaron Mallard, 2 Stanley Smart touchdowns, and really a guy who we thought preseason was going to be one of those glue offensive guys, which we always seem to have when you watch BC football. Cole Henderson with that touchdown, finding a spot right in between the zone. Omari with a beautiful pass, as you said, over the linebacker, but in front of the safety, and Cole Henderson for a touchdown. And you start developing those secondary guys, and the Cadets seemingly always have one of those. And once that guy starts making plays, it really opens things up, because now you got another guy you've got to at least pay attention to.
It seems to always be the key to the offense, where it's, okay, you have this guy covered up, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get hit. It's been the Cam Edges in the past. Jack Ganem a couple years ago was that guy, and they're just playmakers. Cole Henderson, faster than both of them. And when he can get going, he's unstoppable. He's just been dealing with some injuries these past couple of years, but you saw tonight just how explosive he could be when he gets the football in his hands, and made some great blocks. And I think he's a guy who had to really fight for playing time the past couple of seasons, just because Bubba Frazier's out there with Stanley Smart and Aaron Mallard. It can get really tough to get snaps. Now Bubba Frazier up at Notre Dame getting ready to have a monster freshman season. There are snaps available. I think Cole Henderson taking advantage of that opportunity.
Certainly. And again, a much better showing here in this first half. I know Danny Britt will say we still got to play 2 more quarters to get that complete ball game. But again, you're never as bad as you look. You're never as good as you look. And I feel like tonight we've kind of gotten somewhere in between that performance. It hasn't been perfect. It hasn't been pretty, but some of the bread and butter stuff where you like, if nothing else, we can fall back on this and it will work. And we've seen that offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I think if there's anything you can look and say, oh, we might have figured something out right there. I like the pistol look, especially the zone run game, because, again, BC is very much a power run football team where the hole is predetermined. We're going to set up the offensive linemen where they're pinning or they're coming on trap blocks, and you're going to hit that hole at 100 miles an hour and then make a play. That zone run out of the pistol gives a senior running back in Stanley Smart a little bit more freedom to kind of slow roll it once he gets the football, find the hole, and then use his athleticism to make a play. The benefit with that is if they guess right and crash a hole, cool, I can bump outside and pick up 5 or 6 yards at a time. It's very much, for the local stands, reminiscent of the offense the Falcons kind of ran the past few years under Zach Robinson with Bijan Robinson, where it's you don't know which way he's going to go because he's lined up directly behind the quarterback. And so that can help you offensively as well, because you open up the whole field, and then you give a great running back some freedom to look and find where he wants to go.
Offensive line, we talked pregame, obviously. You're missing some with suspension. Turner Walker has come in there and played well at guard. They're opening up holes. I think Reef Leonard getting kicked out to tackle gives you another big body out there at tackle, and they've blocked well, on the edge. We'll see how that continues to hold up, but I mean, they're opening holes. And those guys, despite having a little shuffling this week, have been able to make it happen.
The run game is getting better. I've been really impressed with the pass pro, and that includes Stanley Smart in there, because he had a huge block on a really big play for BC early in the game. But they are a group that has played together for a long time, obviously missing a guy tonight, but they are experienced, and they've executed this offense for a while together, and that includes Turner Walker. And I think tonight what you're seeing is the confidence that Amari has, where he's starting to realize, okay, I don't have to panic after I hit my 3-step. I have time. I can kind of process the defense and make some plays and go back. We've talked about it ad nauseum by this point, but the touchdown in the red zone that he had to Cole Henderson, he was able to hit his 3-step drop, sit inside the pocket, comfortable, step up and deliver a strike. You can't do that if dudes are all around your feet or you're getting pressured up into the pocket. So tip of the cap to Coach Fogarty and that offensive line, because they've done a great job tonight. But again, I think the pass pro is excellent. Run game's getting a lot better.
We are at the half. Cadets lead it 28-3. I would imagine the halftime speech way different this week as it was opposed to a week ago. We're coming right back.
Say so.
This is the Bernard Williams Cadet Halftime Report right here on Watch BC Sports.
Dead or alive, we want your car. No matter the condition, running smooth or barely rolling, Cash and Carry in Savannah will buy it right off the road. Visit us now, get your instant offer, and turn that right into cash today. We buy cars, any condition.
BC Brothers Moving is here to take the stress out of moving. With honest pricing, reliable crews, and no surprises, there's no wonder why they're Savannah's most trusted movers. Reach out today for a quote and get ready to move the chains with BC Brothers Moving.
Hey, Jim Lyons here. Marine Max Savannah is your one-stop shop for boating in Savannah. Whether purchasing a new Boston Whaler, Scout, or Sea Ray, or servicing and storing your current boat, we take pride in providing first-class service. Marine Max Savannah is proud to support Benedictine Athletics. Go BC!
Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings is one of Savannah's most popular. Could be the New York style pizza, or the pasta, or sandwiches, or wings. Whatever you choose, Cool Vibes has their own unique style. Check them out at 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Kevin Thomas, he is Christian Gokel at the half. You are Christian.
I am.
BC leading at 28-3. It looks like
I'm Ron Burgundy.
What mist we had is kind of done with here, and that's been a plus. It was raining pretty much right up until about, maybe 30 minutes before kickoff, and then we've been fine ever since. Yeah. So good weather. The temperature has thankfully been cool for an August football game, Christian. But now you come out second half, adjustments still going to be made. I think if you're A.J. DePhillips, your offense, hey, let's continue to see some of the things that we haven't incorporated. And we saw a couple of screen passes, haven't really seen a bubble screen pass, haven't seen as much over the middle, crossing routes and things, shallow crossing routes that we're accustomed to seeing from BC. And maybe you don't see all of that with Camden coming up next week, but some of those things that you can usually count on an A.J. DePhillips offense running 4 or 5 times a game.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that more and more the more confident you get. And still, I think if you ask AJ what are you working on, it's what we identified at the beginning of the game is got to be better on first down, because that allows you to get to some of the other stuff. But I think what you saw in the second quarter there, Kevin, was number 7 and number 5 showing you why they had all of the preseason accolades and why they're both committed to Power 4 schools. So there's any chance you can give them, it's just got to be a sliver of opportunity and they can hit it. Problem was last week against Toombs, there wasn't even that sliver. It was just immediate contact as soon as they had it. I know we don't have the NFL next-gen stats where it's like yards before contact, but it had to be negative for BC last week. This week, offensive line doing a better job, and if you give them just that little bit of space, they'll make plays.
Again, we are at the half. Cadet specialists out there stretching and moving around. Again, we are just a couple of weeks out from jumping into region play already, Christian, and that's one of those things that with the new alignment, I only got a handful of non-region games now, and so next week will be it with Camden, and then you jump right into region play. And important, you and I were discussing this off air before the game. A lot of folks may not be as familiar with the new setup for the postseason. And apparently it's going to work this way in every sport across the state, not just football, but the power rankings are now in play instead of the 1 through 4 seedings that everybody is traditionally accustomed to. So what does that mean? That means when you are done with the season, the state of Georgia has their formulation, and in every classification, you will receive a ranking of 1 all the way down to 32, and that's your playoff. So 1 would play 32 in the playoffs, 2 would play 31, and so on and so forth in there. Now, you say, well, what difference does that make? If you are in a tough region, much like years past that BC has been in, such as last year, you could have finished, say, 3rd, like BC did a couple of years ago, and say, yes, you finished 3rd, but you're one of the top 10 teams in the state.
Right.
You get a top 10 seed, home field advantage, so on and so forth. You're like, well, what about the other 2 teams? Well, they're getting it too in the playoffs, trying to put the best teams in the best positions to win, and not, hey, you got a tough draw. So what does that mean? You can finish 2nd, still get. If you win the region, you're still region champs. It means you are guaranteed a top 16 seed, not a top 8. And you could say, well, what does that mean? If your region is not as good, it means you still get 1 home game. It means you don't necessarily get 2.
Correct.
So how do they determine all that? It's who you play, who you beat, what your opponents are able to do against teams that they play and beat. So you would like for Toombs to go ahead and just keep winning at this point if you're BC, and it doesn't really hurt you that you lost to them. Same thing with Hebron. Hebron's a defending state champion. Yeah, you want to win, but that doesn't – it gives you actually a little extra –
big Hebron fan for the rest of the year,
gives you a little extra credit there. Camden next week, you'd be a classification up if you're able to win with that win. So all that does is help you with seeding, because it's not just going to be, well, we finished second, we're a 2 seed in the bracket. No, you're trying to get as high up as you can. Just because you don't win your region does not mean you will not get one, even multiple home games, depending on how the 1 through 32 shapes out. Again, they're taking everybody and throwing them all in a hat and saying, re-ranking them. This is the best team in this case, in 5A this year, you get the 1 seed.
Yeah, and every Hebron fan listening right now is rolling their eyes because they've
been a part of
this in the private classification. So it's new, and I am part of the old guard that really like that, hey, you can play out-of-region games. They don't matter in terms of seeding inside of the playoffs for your division. And it was, if you win your region, you are a 1 seed. Gotten away from that. Some people think it's going to be more fair. I will say this. You had some absolute murderers row in terms of trying to get to the Atlanta, and you also had some where you're like, they're a 1 seed, but you
also had a lot of, hey, they were 3 and 7, but their region was small, they were bad,
so
they still made the playoffs.
You're eliminating a lot of that. Do I think it could be better? Yes. Do I hate the fact that it is subject to, we're using a system where it's your record and then your opponent's records and your opponent's records? Yes, I think we could be a little bit more in-depth than that and a little bit more kind of the BCS system if you're going to end up ranking teams that way. But for BC, it means that we always make the statements where it's like, yeah, it's great that you beat Hebron, but it doesn't matter because it's not a region game. It matters now in terms of potentially being, like you said, okay, you won the region, but you're just the 14th seed, so you're only going to host 1 playoff game potentially. Versus if you beat Hebron, they go on to have a wonderful season. You could be bumped up the rankings there, same as your game next week against Camden. So it's a big deal now. So if anything, you've added some significance to these out-of-region games. Well, I think we could do a little bit better.
Yeah. Again, top 8 seeds will basically be the former all number 1s for every region. And could you have 2 top 8 seeds from the same region? You very much could. Yep. So if you're playing –
no more coin tosses.
Well, you don't need them.
That's what I'm saying. That's one of my favorite things.
1 through 32. Nobody probably happier than the GHSA. They don't have to put out a video every week flipping a coin in the office. So that being said, we'll take another break here. This is the Bernard Williams halftime report. Cadets returning from the locker room. We're counting down closer to the second half. We're coming right back here on Watch BC Sports.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Want to make some extra cash just by sitting on your couch? At Cash and Carry in Savannah, Georgia, we buy any car, no matter the condition, and take it right off the road. Just visit the link, enter your car details, and get an instant offer. Cash and Carry, turning cars into cash without leaving your couch.
Serving fresh, locally inspired seafood since 1965, Despacito's Seafood Restaurant in Thunderbolt, Georgia is made with tradition, quality, and flavor you can taste.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium as we still count down the halftime stanza. They've still got their extra 3 minutes to warm up. BC will get the football back to start the second half. As Christian mentioned before we set aside, you got Camden next week, a 7A school down I-95 in Kingsland. So that will be the final non-region game of the year. And then they kick it off in region play with their first road game of the year up at Statesboro the following week. So that's a quick look ahead at the upcoming schedule for the Cadets.
It's going to be fun. And I think, again, you're in for a battle next week against Camden. I think their game tonight got moved to – no, I'm thinking of Brunswick. I don't know if they were still able to play theirs because there's some severe weather down in that area. But Groves and Brunswick did get moved to tomorrow. But either way, we're talking about the coaching staff that Camden has there now. If you just want to talk about a resume of coaching at the South Georgia Juggernauts, they got it. That coaching staff's been at Valdosta. They've been at Pierce County. They've been at Appling. And now they're trying, I don't want to say revive a Camden program, but it's very much unless you make it to the semifinals or to Atlanta, it's a disappointing season for Wildcat fans, and they're trying to revive that down there in Camden, and they're off to a good start, beat a really good Brunswick team this past Saturday. So should be fun coming up. Doesn't get easier. Certainly next week.
Yeah, certainly not. We are counting you down towards the second half. One final break and then the kickoff. When we come back, this is Cadet Football right here on Watch BC Sports. Butler Enterprises is a family-owned and operated used car dealership. They have been in business for over 25 years and have hundreds of repeat customers. Come by and see why today at Butler Enterprises.
Bowtie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, Bowtie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the Bowtie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. Bowtie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at bowtiebbq.com.
We are back here at Memorial Stadium. Still 2 minutes to go. Hebron's out there ready to kick the ball off, but GHSA rules, you got to let the 3 minutes of extra warm-up time run down. So BC's out there on the field now. They're going to, I guess, stand around for a minute 45, Christian, unless the clock operator just says, okay, they're both ready, just stop it. But I think GHSA rules, you're supposed to let that extra warm-up time run all the way down. But when we do, it'll be Dontre Ford and Aaron Mallard back deep to receive the kickoff. Cadets will work right to left here in the second half. Again, Cadets going with the more traditional maroon tops, white pants look with the maroon helmets. And Hebron Christian with the maroon pants and the white tops tonight with the black helmets and the gold lion on the side there this evening. Want to see a fast start here. Again, I think this is a quarter, Christian, where don't come out and mess around. You have a chance to go up 35-3 and kind of put this game completely out of reach and feel good about yourself going into Camden next week. But what you don't want to do is come out here and fumble around and stumble around and let Hebron hang around. And maybe you still win the ball game, but don't want to look sloppy doing it.
It's the most dangerous score in sports.
Enough, but not quite enough.
28-3, especially in the state of Georgia. Yeah, got to come out here and just keep pedal to the metal. If I had to imagine, Danny Britt feels like his offense is catching stride. Cool. Let's make sure they get it all the way.
Got to wait for the final 20-some-odd seconds to run off. Everybody's standing around ready to go. But as I said, you cannot start until the GHSA says you are ready to go here.
This is not a new development.
Student body representing down to our left for BC. They are enjoying what they've seen tonight out of their fellow cadets. And now they said we can kick the ball off to start the second half. Ardo to kick it left to right for Hebron. And Dontre Ford, Stanley Smart back deep. And they will drive it up the right side. Boy, that's as big a leg as we've seen out of them tonight. That's into the end zone, and there will be a touchback out at the 20-yard line for BC.
That's only the second time they've had a kick.
That's true.
But, yes, a very strong leg.
So it'll be Amari Burse and the offense starting things off again, working right to left here in the third quarter. And again, Stanley Smart with over 120 yards on 2 carries alone in that first half.
And BC really hasn't gone under center tonight. I wonder how much of that is you're playing a team who sees a very similar version of that, just out of the shotgun, but that same style of offense that BC likes to run under center. I wonder how much of it's just like, hey, you're not used to seeing a team that runs power spread like this, but interesting because BC likes to run out of the eye.
Here's the start and play of the second half. It's give. This is going to be a nice give off the left side to Aaron Mallard. They had put Smart out in the slot that time, and Mallard goes all the way out off of left tackle out to the 45 of BC. So give him a gain of 25 on first down.
Yeah, it's similar to the way you started the game where you kind of mix up the positions where Stanley starts at the slot, Aaron starts at running back. They think you're going to try to go misdirection, and you just hand it off to him. Great job by Aaron and nice blocking up front.
Out of the pistol, bunching it up to the left. Here's the snap. The give tail of that pistol is Smart. Ooh, made a man miss in the hole and stutter stepped across the 50 into Hebron territory at the 49. A nice 6-yard run on first down.
Yeah, two guys get credit on that one. Cole Henderson and Liam Dolan with really nice blocks right there, and they're both fired up about it. Just coming short side of the field, tied in and wide receiver blocking hard right there at BC moving.
They're right back over the ball. Same formation with the H-back to the left. Here's the snap. They'll give it. Nope. Play action over the middle. It's caught. Aaron Mallard makes a man miss at the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown. Aaron Mallard. 50 yards from Amari Burse. And that was the play action. Even got me, Christian. And then Aaron Mallard just was in between the seam there on the left side, ran it for a touchdown.
I think it was RPO right there. I think he had the option to give that one to Stanley Smart, but because of that, linebacker steps up. You have the safety off, and you just have Aaron streaking up the seam. Amari pulls it out of Stanley's gut, delivers a strike to Aaron Mallard right in stride, and then Aaron Mallard does the rest.
59 seconds on the drive for the Cadets, and the point after by DiTomaso is good. 35-3. Cadets come out on fire out of the locker room, and we're coming right back here on Watch BC Sports.
If you're looking for high energy, great food, and a perfect place to catch the game, look no further than Midtown Sports Grill in Savannah. Daily food specials, live music, trivia, and so much more. Stop by Midtown Sports Grill today.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Cadets go 80 yards on the opening drive of the second half in 59 seconds, and they lead it 35-3. Well, that's how you draw it up.
Yeah, and again, power run, and then you give your quarterback the option, and the defense is just flying downfield to make a play, pull it out of the running back's gut, hit your Purdue commit at wide receiver, and that's a recipe for success.
3 drives of 80 yards for touchdowns tonight, Christian, and 1 of 78 for the Cadets. Here's the kick down inside the 5 at the 4, across the 10, 15, out towards the 20, and brought down right there at the 20-yard line is Mears, and that's where they'll take over on first down.
And I've been really impressed with this kickoff unit, just flying down the field and making tackles. Really, once they've given up a return pass to 30, and I think it's because it was a line drive kick. They didn't have time to get down in coverage, but they're running their alleys really well, and maybe a couple of guys on that unit are starters, so guys taking advantage. This is how you get on the field, flying down on special teams and making plays.
So here's Green out of a shotgun. They'll put a man in motion. He'll look back to his left, throw it underneath. It's going to be caught and shoved out of bounds is Kyles. They'll mark him out up at the 26-yard line. So a gain of 6 on first down, 2nd and 4.
Your defensive coaching staff sets you up for success right there. You just got to commit to it. BC knows that's the play that they want to run, and they had Nick Jackson heading out to the flat to make the interception right there. Just didn't go quite fast enough, or that could have been a pick 6.
Here's the snap straight ahead. This is Sowers, and he'll get across the 30 for a first down before he's turned around by a host of BC defenders. Looks like Caden Thomas and Bean in there as well for the tackle.
Should be enough there for a first down. Interesting play right there. You run the jet sweep, and it almost turns into like a double ISO right there because you pull it out of that guy's gut, but then hand it to a running back right behind him. Pin and pull.
Yep, they will go to Sowell again, or Stour, excuse me, and he'll get one out to the 34-yard line and bring up second down.
Yeah, good job right there by BC. Again, 3 down linemen. Got Carson Granger in there at the nose, Isaac Scott on the other side of him, and they're just making a pile right now. Hebron tried to get outside, running the same pin and pull that BC ran earlier, but BC's defensive line doing a good job creating a mess and let the linebackers run.
Clock rolls inside 10 minutes here in the third. As Green's got twin to the right, one up top, takes the snap. He'll roll here to the near side, throw across his body, and it is almost caught but dropped. Kyles had it at the 40, and had he caught it, might have been able to turn and go. Damari Perry tried to jump the route, was a little late on the underneath, and thankfully Kyles dropped it.
Yeah, I still think that was a great play by Damari, breaking on that one, and I think trying to get 2 hands up to catch it instead of just knocking it away, but still watching Damari get better and better snap after snap.
So third down, call it 8 here for Hebron from their own 34-yard line. Cadets trying to get off the field here defensively. First possession of the second half. Throw over the middle is going to be dislodged. Great coverage there on the back end. Peyton Bean comes up and lays the wood on Kyles, and he couldn't hang on. It'll bring up fourth down, and the Lions going to punt this football.
Yeah, that's what your safety is supposed to do. Had his eyes on the quarterback, saw him booting out, kept his leverage right there, worked his way towards the sideline, and then timed up that hit perfectly on the flag route. So, again, Peyton Bean had a great performance last week against Toombs and continuing that over into tonight's game.
So Hebron going to punt the football as double safeties back. It is Dontre Ford and Aaron Mallard for BC. They stand at their own 25. And Ardo's the punter as well. He hangs one up. Boy, he has had some nice kicks tonight. Going to be fair caught at the 27-yard line by Dontre Ford, and that's where BC will take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, he does a good job of just getting that ball into the stratosphere. You always say, a punter hit it well when the football turns over in that spiral, and all of his punts have looked like that. That's a weapon.
And again, once they get into region play, don't know how often they're even going to need him.
Yeah.
This is a very good football team. And I think this is much like you saw last week with BC and Toombs. A lot of folks at Hebron's probably saying the same thing, like, it won't be like this every week.
Yeah.
But the Cadets have come back ready to play here in week number 2. That is for certain. So they'll put Stanley Smart. Let's see if they stay in that pistol. They kind of go with that diamond-shaped bunch trips here to the left. And here's the snap. They'll give it on a jet sweep coming here to the near side. This is Henderson, 30, 35, 40. Cuts back inside across midfield, the 45, 40 at the left side at the 30. 25 and out of bounds at the 24-yard line. And Cole Henderson with a nice run just on a little jet sweep coming back here to the near side.
Yeah, it's dressed up a bunch of different ways, but that's classic BC buck sweep right there. Just had the kitchen sink out in front of them. And Cole Henderson, you see the burners. I think if you lined everybody up, everybody's going to say Aaron Mallard. Cole Henderson in a straight speed test, I think can go toe for toe with anybody. But, I mean, BC getting back to the basics right now and getting the football to playmakers.
So first down, BC Brothers moved the chains. They had to move it a long ways. All the way down to the Hebron 23-yard line. 1st and 10. 4 wides in the formation. Omari looking. He's going to have to step up in the pocket. Flushed out to his right. Throws back across his body. Caught. 3-2-1 touchdown. Cole Henderson had snuck on like a deep curl route in the middle of the field and puts it in the end zone. That's Cole's second touchdown of the night. And the Cadets lead it 41-3.
That's a leap from Amari Burse. Takes his 3-step drop, slides up in the pocket, navigates the pressure, keeps his eyes downfield as he moves, and delivers a strike in the middle of the field to a receiver. And a great job by Cole, making himself big and coming back to his quarterback. Amari Burse is finding his stride. This BC offense is finding their stride, and the Cadets are up 42-3. 41. Don't want to get ahead of myself.
We got to wait for Parker DiTomaso's point after. And what do we have?
Did I jinx it?
They just stood up. I don't know if it's a play clock situation. Now they're good.
Come on, Parker. No announcer jinx.
Snap is good. Puts a foot through it right through the middle. It's 42-3, 9:11 to go here in the third quarter. Cadets starting to roll. This is Cadet football on 912 Sports.
Plan your hunting getaway and escape to experience the beauty of Mossy Pond. Our diverse property right here in Pierce County allows you to enjoy various types of hunts, including plantation-style quail, hog, pheasant, and flooded timber-style duck hunts, all within 24 hours. At the center of it all, experience scenic, rustic, beautiful, and inviting amenities like luxury lodging, our first-class pro shop, fine dining, and the perfect event space. Book now and see why Mossy Pond Lodge is Georgia's premier hunting paradise.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Watch BC Sports. Cadets rolling 42-3. DiTomaso will kick it off right to left. And waiting for the all clear. Now we've got it. A couple of new guys back deep. Looks like they've got Emmanuel Vanderpool back deep for Hebron Christian. So rotating in some guys here on the kick team themselves. And they're going to kick it up to the left side away from everybody. And it will bounce into the end zone. Hit about the 10, got a good BC roll and bounced into the end zone. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for Hebron Christian.
Yeah, I like BC finds a way to find athletes. Amari Burse, football is not his first sport. Baseball, he's a UAB commit at shortstop, and he's going to be a great college baseball player. Parker DeTomaso is a goal scorer for the soccer team for BC, was the starting forward for the Cadets as a freshman on a very talented team that made a deep run into the playoffs. So BC finds a way of getting athletes onto the field and letting them do it, and Parker has done an excellent job through 2 games.
Hayden Hoffman in at safety for BC on the back end here.
They went right at him the last time he was in the game. I'm sure he got coached up.
Trips out to the left. Here's Green out of a shotgun. Takes the snap. They'll ride the belly. This is Stowers straight ahead and going nowhere. And that was just effort and determination by Gavin Smith, breaking off his block on the inside and bringing him down.
Yeah, he's had a really nice game on the defensive line. Got out to the quarterback really well. And just, again, those 3 down linemen, him, Carson Granger, and Isaac Scott, have done an excellent job tonight. And then the 2 backups there, and Nasiah Higginbottom and Aaron Brown, some quality reps and giving some time, the guys some breathers out there.
And they're both in there now, trying to get lined up on the inside. Here on 2nd and 10, Green looking, steps up in the pocket, going to be flush, winds up, throws it back over the middle to nobody in particular, and that's going to be incomplete. Nice coverage downfield by all the Cadets. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, you said it. Great coverage downfield, BC in zone, and really did a good job of passing guys off to the next zone. But that play is made by Rasheem Jackson, who was just sitting there at his inside linebacker spot about 8 yards deep, but kept his eyes on the quarterback. It looked like he was going to be able to break up and pick up 8 or 9 yards, but Rasheem got in his face, pulls up, throws to nobody in the middle of the field.
So 3rd down and 10. Here for Hebron, they'll stack receivers to the right and pull in those double receivers, twins to the left. Here's Green, straight drop, looking back to his left, throws deep and incomplete. I think maybe Bean might have got away with a little body before the ball got there.
I think he was going to make a play on the ball, and their legs hit each other. That's fine, and I am really impressed with 21. He stepped into the starting safety role and has played out of his mind through 2 games, and that's another great one. You can just see it feels like the game's slowing down for him, trying to get up there and pick that one off.
So Hebron going to have to punt the football again with 8:23 to go here in the third. Cadets have really picked it up here about midway through the second quarter on.
Yeah, score update, just checking in from Calvary Day and Jenkins. Late in the second quarter, Calvary Day was up 16-13 in that one, so a good one going on across town.
Ooh. And that punt almost blocked. The short one going to be picked up. Mallard at the 50, 45, 40. He's got room, 35, 30, makes another man miss, shoved out of bounds. I'll see where they spot him at the 20. I want to say the 27-yard line back there. And that's where BC is going to start. Great field position here. 1st and 10 inside the Hebron 30.
Yeah, good job again on the pressure that time from BC. Shane Jackson again on the punt team, and I just think he was able, it wasn't really a punt block on, he was just able to slip through and got in the face of the punter. Punter tried to sell the fake hit. I'm sure he plays soccer. But then Aaron Mallard doing Aaron Mallard things.
Here's twin receivers either side. Stanley Smart stands to the left of Amari Burse on 1st down. Amari on a straight drop, flushed out to his left, throws to Smart underneath short, and he'll be pushed out of bounds. But not before he gets inside. They say he stepped out at the 23.
Still, I mean, how good has Amari Burse's pocket navigation been tonight? That could have easily been a big sack right there. You got instant pressure off the edge. He navigates up in the pocket and finds his check down, and instead of 2nd and 15, it's 2nd and 5. I didn't want to say the soccer comment, not a slight. I played soccer too, but we have been known to
exaggerate,
fake an injury every now and then.
2nd down, they'll put Mallard in motion. They'll counter back with Stanley inside. He'll push ahead, maybe get the 22, but they'll shove him back. So call it about a half a yard. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, that time he just ran into a run blitz, and that's going to happen from time to time. Good job just getting back to the line of scrimmage. And again, you are what I had to imagine in Parker to Thomaso range right here, but more importantly, just working clock, giving the defense a breather.
You haven't seen him attempt a field goal this year. How much, if you're Danny Britt with the luxury up 42-3, would you say, if we had to see what the leg looks like under some pressures? And
yeah, you want a touchdown here, obviously, but wouldn't hurt to give him an opportunity.
Here's 3rd down. Burst over the middle, finds a man, touchdown. Aaron Mallard just found the hole in the zone, and Amari just delivered a strike right there, and that makes it 48-3.
Just so good from Amari, layering these balls in. And Kevin, that's something that you don't see a lot of quarterbacks at the high school level do, but he's got the touch to get it over the inside linebacker and beat zone coverage, and he has been on fire tonight.
And that is Aaron's 3rd touchdown of the night. Amari's got 5 touchdown passes tonight for BC. Play. And here's the point after from DiTomaso. Whoa, that one got sideways on him. He missed it at 48-3. 7:22 to go here in the 3rd. This is Cadet football on Watch BC Sports.
My name is Chris Williams. My wife Corey and I own C. Williams & Associates here in Savannah, Georgia, and we are proud sponsors of Benedictine Athletics. We have 3 different offices in downtown Savannah with 16 therapists providing a variety of different services, including individual therapy, couples therapy, group counseling, walk and talk therapy, as well as mind and motion, which integrates traditional talk therapy with personal training. When it comes to mental health, having a game plan is important, and we're here to help you find yours.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Cadets take the short field and find pay dirt once again. It's 48-3. Cadets are rolling. And so much so that we might be headed toward a running clock in the 4th quarter at this stage. And Christian, I know if you're Hebron, you want to be aggressive, but at what point do you run the football and kind of give the hat nod to Danny Britt like, hey, maybe it's when the 4th quarter starts, but 7:21 to go. Here's the kick, 15, out towards the 20, 25, 30, 40, 45. Going to cut back in the middle, across midfield, makes one man miss a touchdown-saving tackle at the 40-yard line of BC. And that was made by Nasiah Higginbotham.
I mean, playing defensive line, tracking down kick returners. That's a ball player right there. And that time again, it's long on the kick, but it's also shallow and it's going really fast, that line drive kick. So you're out kicking your coverage and you kicked it to the short side of the field as well. So they had a return set up right there. But I mean, Higginbotham on his horse.
That's right.
Getting back there and tracking him down.
So now Hebron will start from the BC 38-yard line. Obviously their best field position of the night to start a drive. They got twins across the way on the short side. They'll put a receiver in motion, giving him trips to the left. Straight drop, Goes deep over the middle. Boy, they got tangled up. Ball was not catchable. And that was Peyton Bean and Kyles around the 10-yard line. Ball goes all the way down into the end zone. So it'll be a second down and 10.
Yeah, and again, you get a big return and you're in BC territory. Take a shot on the first play. But if I'm going after anybody in the secondary right now, it's not number 21. Peyton Bean, again, in phase. Legs get tangled up. They both go down. And the receiver's still.
Yeah, he went and picked the football up in the end zone. So second down and 10 from the BC 38. They'll put an H back to the right. Here's the snap. Give is going to be to Stowers. He tries to reverse field, gets out of a tackle there, comes back to the far side, going to be wrapped up and brought down. Dontre Ford grabbed him first, and then it looked like it was Nick Jackson to come clean him up. It'll bring up third down and 14.
Yeah, and again, really nice penetration up front on the defensive line for BC. I think that was Higginbottom flashing through right there on the defensive line, but a great job by Dontre Ford staying at home on the backside. Running back reverses all the way back around, and Dontre makes the play.
So third down back at the BC 40. And a snap to Green out of the shotgun on third down. Straight drop. He pump fakes, now looks back across the middle of the field. Is going to be forced here to the near side. Going to try to turn and throw. No, going to tuck it and brought down. Nice tackle in the open field there by William Brown, who stuck with it. And again, he was coming the wrong way. Every time you pump fake, you're like, well, you still got to wind up and kind of throw across your body a little bit. It's taken off a majority of the field, and Cadets work him side to side, 4th and 11.
Yeah, he took a hard hit there, just knee bouncing off the turf. You see him shaking it out down there on the field right now. But BC done a good job tonight in these passing situations, having a dedicated spy at one of the linebacker spots. At that time, Will Brown able to track him down, and another negative play for Hebron. And BC defense feels like they're settling in.
They're going to go for this on 4th down. They need to get to the BC 27-yard line to move the chains. And they'll bring in a receiver. They'll stack receivers to either side, tight to the formation. Here's the snap to Green. Straight drop. Green's going to step up in the pocket, looking, and not going anywhere, brought down. And that is a sack in the backfield for Aaron Brown, getting some snaps tonight on that defensive line. And once he got a hold of Jordan Green, he wasn't letting go.
Yeah, BC getting pressure with 4 and some nice stunts up front. And again, these are guys who are coming in as that second team unit and getting quality reps, and there's no drop off right now. Give Carson Granger credit. He's played a lot of those snaps. He's still in there right now. But, I mean, that's Higginbottom. And then that time Aaron Brown making the play. That's big-time stuff. And, again, this is the stuff you look back on at the end of the year, and you're like, okay, these guys are stalwarts in the defense now. They were getting their first snaps against Hebron and getting really, really good playing time.
So 1st and 10 from the BC 49 is where the Cadets will start this drive.
And we'll finally go under center.
First time they go to the flex bone look, and they will buck sweep it here. This is going to be Cole Henderson, 40. Makes man move. Nice stutter step at the 45, 40, 35, 30, and out of bounds at the 29. And you kind of saw the nice juke move right there. Made a man miss in the open field, and that's a big first down. And the BC brothers moving the chains, first down.
Yeah, and again, Cole Henderson earning touches right now. You just go to the hot hand, and Cole Henderson, every time he touches the football, it's 20 yards.
He comes out of the ball game. Damari Perry has come in. They'll give it to Damari here, coming near side, and he'll run into the stack at about the 27 and get turned around there, maybe a yard or two on the play. They'll give him maybe 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And poor Damari played every snap defensively so far, come up, made some really good tackles, has made some really good plays in pass coverage. You're like, you're going to call the same play again? They're ready for it? Cole gets that really cool run, and I get 3 guys waiting for me in the hole.
So second down here, clock rolling. BC becoming a little more deliberate here as we get late in the third quarter. And they'll stay under center, 1 receiver in the formation.
They've liked the play action on the sprint out of this formation.
So second down, here's Omari. Goes out to Karan Hall in the flat. That's going to be caught. Makes a man miss. He'll have the first down inside the 20, down to the 17, 16-yard line. And that'll be a BC brothers moving the chains, first down.
Yeah, Karan's done a really nice job bouncing back. Missed the first opportunity he had to pick up a third down in the first quarter, but since then has been a really reliable target. And that's just, we've talked about getting back to the basics for BC. How many times have we seen in big games where teams just play off and they'll do that 5-yard stop route, and that just keeps the offense in rhythm? That's really nice stuff there from Karan.
So first down, again, BC becoming much more deliberate. They're letting the play clock run down, not all the way, but certainly farther than they were, and are huddling up in between plays. Here's the snap. Oh, it's over Amari's head. It goes way back there, and Amari's going to fall on it at the 39. So very fortunate there. Going to be a loss of 20, and Christian, that's been about the first bad thing offensively that's happened in about 2 quarters here for BC tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that one was straight up the chimney chute and almost looked like a punt snap right there. And Amari Burst, don't know if he just took a weird roll trying to jump on that because he had a guy chasing him back there, but I think he's just wiping all those little rubber nuggets off from the turf. But, yeah, I mean, really the first misstep you've seen from BC offensively, but now it's second and half the field.
Yeah, they got officially first time I've been able to do it this year. Second and C right drive. They got to, I mean, they basically got to get back to campus to get a first down right now. And we'll see what they do. Inside 3 minutes here in the third.
I wonder if they thought he was still under center.
Could have been.
Yeah.
They'll motion out Stanley Smart. They'll throw back underneath Karan Hall, and he's going to be dropped for a 3-yard loss. They snuffed that out beautifully. Did Hebron Christian, brought down in the open field by Cam Brown, one of those linebackers, and that lost 3 or 4 more yards. And officially, it's 3rd and 35 for BC.
Yeah, I tried to run a screen against man coverage right there and just had a dedicated man for Karan and able to wrap up and make a play. This is one of those ones where you just pull the third down punt.
Out of the pistol, they go back to that. They give it to Stanley Smart straight ahead. And he'll run into a linebacker who squares him up at the 40, so give him a couple of yards there. And it'll bring up 4th down inside 2 minutes to go here in the third.
Yeah, that is one you've seen guys bite on the juke from Stanley Smart, and he's able to keep running. That time, linebacker broke down, kept his feet moving, and made a really good tackle on Stanley Smart.
BC going to trot on the punt team. Amari's not staying out there to punt, or he's coming near side. Are we going to have someone else
BC
get a crack
burned a
at
timeout?
him?
What's happening? Oh, there we go. Play clock just started.
So I think Danny Britt came off the sidelines like, hey, slow down, punt team. Don't need to run out there just yet. But Amari Burris is, I wonder if Danny's going to take a delay a game here, even though it's 4th and 33. And just go ahead and burn as much time as possible.
Yeah, they still haven't left.
Yeah, 10 seconds. They're still on the sideline. He said something to the lead official. He either said, hey, we're going to take a timeout with 1 second, or just give me the delay. And they took the delay. So they're going to back it up to the 45. And you say, well, why do that? It's 4th and 38 now. Just to burn every possible second you can.
And I think you're putting in backups on the punt team, so BC needed time to get that done.
Yeah, Parker DiTomaso is going to punt here.
Kingston Taylor, freshman, coming in wearing number 28.
A lot of young guys on that punt block unit up front. There we go. Nice snap. And DiTomaso gets one away. Not a bad spiral. It's going to hit about the 15 and check up to the 10. Fielded there, and a tackle going to be made at the 12 out of bounds. Good effort there by the BC coverage team. Officially put out of bounds there by number 53, Will Dixon.
And if there is any coaching points on that one for Parker, is it's got to be faster. You can't do the goalkeeper wind up on the punt right there. You got to catch, step, and punt. But did a nice job getting some roll on it and leveraging it inside the 20.
Cadets have the second unit and Carson Granger out there up front. And they're going to pull some guys off. Rasheed Jackson coming off.
I think
and it's going to
after
be Will Clark playing one of those linebacker spots.
Yeah, I think after Amari kind of went down awkwardly, up 45 points right now, the coaching staff said, all right, that's enough for the starters.
Ben Tootin comes in at one of the corners. He needs to get turned around. They're about to snap the football. And Hebron's gone to a backup quarterback here as well. Here's the snap. And off the left side, he'll turn the corner, get across the 15 to the 17. Brought down, that is Number 22, Will Brown.
Yeah, he's one of the starters that's still in there, but Will Clark, number 42, senior for the Cadets, able to get some penetration and was the one who forced the quarterback to bounce that one wide.
Cadets have a freshman out there at one of the boundary corners, Jeremy White-Hart. Wearing number 82. He's out there on the far side.
I think
and this is going to be Hudson. Yeah, I think they're going to let it go to, or are they? And one more play. They snap to Hudson. He'll take it himself. He'll go off the left side, and he's going to turn the corner and have a first down and be brought down, lost a helmet. A couple of folks lost a helmet across the 30 to the 32, and that'll do it for the third quarter. 48-3, Cadets out in front. We're coming back for the fourth right after this here on Watch BC Sports.
Hey, Jim Lyons here. Marine Max Savannah is your one-stop shop for boating in Savannah. Whether purchasing a new Boston Whaler, Scout, or Sea Ray, or servicing and storing your current boat, we take pride in providing first-class service. Marine Max Savannah is proud to support Benedictine Athletics. Go BC!
Serving fresh, locally inspired seafood since 1965, Despacito's Seafood Restaurant in Thunderbolt, Georgia is made with tradition, quality, and flavor you can taste.
Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. We start the fourth quarter. Cadets have gone full second unit here on the defense. I think only Carson Granger is the only starter out there on the defensive side of the football. Hebron has made a change at quarterback as well. As we mentioned, they've gone to number 7, Hudson. Actually, they go back to Green for this one. He'll throw one out to Kyles, and he'll catch it out at the 37-yard line of Hebron. That'll be a gain of about 3, 2nd and 7.
Again, opportunities for quality reps. You got Liam Dolan in there, who's been your starting tight end, playing one of the defensive end spots. But also you have guys in there right now like Conrad Kale, the sophomore, getting some reps at safety.
I think Carson Granger, the only guy that started that's still out there for BC. Here's Green. He'll look to throw back, pump fake, throws up the right side, has his man Kyles, and it is caught and brought down at the 20. No, it's incomplete. He dropped the ball on the way down.
Say maintain possession, and then a fumble went out of bounds. But again,
tackled by Ben Tootin there on the far sideline.
You had this last year where BC kind of has the acknowledgement with the staff of, we're putting our backups in, let's just run this out and get home. And now all of a sudden your backups are in and they start running double moves on the outside with their starters. It is what it is. They're not going to come back and win, but you're just kind of breaking the code a little bit right there if you're calling plays.
And they had gone to number 7, who is Hudson at quarterback. Now they've put Green back in there for this drive. Again, BC full second unit in there. They just took Carson Granger out, so he's officially out on that BC defense. Here's a snap on first down. They'll keep it straight ahead. That's Green, and he'll plow ahead towards the 20. Brought down there in the middle, I believe, by number 23. Was that Gabe Campbell, a junior?
Again, it's interesting. You had one design quarterback run play the entire first 3 quarters against the starting defense. Now you're against backups. We're running quarterback powers.
Here's the snap.
Double
Looking
move
back
again.
to the far side. Tootin in coverage, played it wonderfully in the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. It'll bring up third down and call it 4.
That pass was incomplete. Newton, number 15 on the plate for BC.
And the clock is continuing to run. 9:45 and counting here, running clock in the fourth quarter. Again, you got Liam Dolan in there, Higginbottom along that defensive front. And they'll run QB power again, brought down that time by Liam Dolan. It'll have a first down, Will Green at the 15-yard line, and move the change to straight quarterback power there.
That is for first down.
So you got Nykeem and Nasiah Higginbottom in there. I was thinking I was seeing double, and so I was like,
two Higginbottoms in there right now?
We do along that defensive
That's
front.
elite.
So here's the snap to Green. Blitz coming off the backside. He almost intercepted by Tootin. And that's what you get for running some of that stuff. He had some pressure in his face as well coming off the edge from Thomas Brennan. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
It's clear as day. They're going after the shorter backup cornerback right now, but Ben Tootin says, I've been a Benedictine cadet for 3 years now. Been around the block. And now they're going to flip it to the other side.
And we'll see what Danny Britt has to say about that.
And try it against Whit Marsh.
And now somebody moved for Hebron. That'll back them up. It'll be 2nd and 15. Clock it's going to stop, I guess, for the penalty. Then it'll start right back up.
The ball.
So as soon as they spot it, the clock will start rolling again.
Again, if you're just running base offense and you're running the comeback routes that they've been running and they're trying to run power up the middle, fine. It is what it is. It's BC's job to stop you. But when you start doing things you weren't doing against the starters, against the backups, that's when coaches start shaking their heads.
There's a little power sweep off the right side. It'll go inside the 10. Keeps his feet going to fall down at the 5. He was tripped up there. That was just a jet sweep going to Bo Bennett. That'll be 1st and goal here for Hebron Christian.
Yeah, just a jet sweep right there. And BC almost able to set the edge, but now back against the wall as they're inside their 5. I had to imagine quarterback power probably coming.
They're going to run that same play with Bennett inside the 3-2-1 and touchdown as he plowed off that right side. And Hebron on the board again. It'll be 48-9 with the point after upcoming. Clock continues to roll here as we wait for the point after. So when you get in these running clocks, you can usually see a minute or two burn up just on the point after and the kickoff.
Yeah, if I had to imagine, we're going to see Thomas Brennan at quarterback when they kick this one back off for BC. And if anybody can milk 7 minutes off a clock, it's Mr. Brennan.
So here's the point after upcoming for Hebron. And it is up and through there. 48-10 our score. Clock will continue to roll. We'll take a break as the Cadets up big here on Watch BC Sports.
Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings is one of Savannah's most popular. Could be the New York style pizza, or the pasta, or sandwiches, or wings. Whatever you choose, Cool Vibes has their own unique style. Check them out at 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah.
We are back here at Memorial Stadium. Clock continues to roll as we wait for Hebron to kick off. Cadets have emptied the bench there on defense. I would imagine we'll see more of the same here offensively once they get the football back. And let's see. Well, we got some new folks coming back here to receive the kickoff. We have, is that Woody Bowen, a freshman?
Yeah, and Kingston Taylor as well. 2 freshmen back deep.
Let's see if Hebron kicks it to him and allows them to run the ball. Again, everybody out there right now is your second unit guys. Cooper Gustwick, a freshman out there in the next to back line. And here we go. They'll kick it up and drive it up the right side. Going to come down and hit in the end zone. So no return for BC. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 20. Clock continues to roll. And it looks like, Christian, correctly, it's going to be Thomas Brennan to run the offense here. Probably the final 5 minutes. If BC gets a first down, that's probably all they need with a running clock. 1 first down would do it.
And if I had to imagine, under center, some counters.
And help me out with my eyeballs here. A lot of new guys out there for BC. Jack Whitaker on the offensive line.
Yeah, Nykeem Higginbottom in at center.
Brennan directing traffic. He's got Charlie Albert as the B-back. They'll run a jet sweep into nobody. Oh, breaking out of there, coming back across and getting close to the 20, back to the 19. Running the football was number 45, Cooper Gustwick.
He did a great job.
And the fact that he only lost a yard was an amazing run there.
They had a man coming clean around the edge, sealed up on him.
Might have been able to take the handoff.
Yeah.
So you got Gustwick out there. Woody Bowen at one of those A-back spots.
Yeah, again, 30 seconds left on the play clock. BC hasn't even called the play in yet.
Is that Everett Saturday out there at wide receiver for BC? I don't know if Everett's going to get a chance to catch the football here with the clock rolling under 4 minutes.
Go out there and block somebody, though.
Cadets go to the wing tee. Brennan under center. They'll put a man in motion. They'll run Albert straight ahead, and he runs right into the line. They're going to say he lost a yard. So BC not winning blocks up front right now, as you would expect from some young guys out there.
I think
Caleb
Hebron very aware of what's coming at him and just attacking the run game right now.
You have Caleb Ruiz, a senior out there, getting some playing time on the offensive line. David Ongiri, a senior over there at left tackle. So some seniors who don't get a lot of consistent playing time, getting some right here late in the ball game. Oh, they're going to put Thomas Brennan in the shotgun on 3rd and 12. 4 wides. Brennan takes the snap. He's on a straight drop looking. He's going to throw back underneath. It's caught. Close to the first down. He's just short of the 30.
He's right there.
That is caught by Everett Saturday. Number 10. That's Shepard Richardson, who is, I think, the 3rd-string quarterback.
Now you got to go, right? 4th and less than a yard.
4th in the football.
Thomas Brandon's getting this on a quarterback sneak.
I think Danny Britt knows with 2:40, if I can get this one length of the football.
They still haven't started the play clock.
The clock's going to run out before we have to do anything.
And I wonder if they measure this, that might be the ball game.
They're going to say he's got a full yard. He needs the 30-yard line. Brennan going to go under center. Checking the play clock.
Holding everything up.
He said, chill out, everybody. We still got 20 seconds.
That's easy to say to the offensive line.
Yeah.
Who's down set.
Yeah, he's already touched the football, so Brennan still looking at that play clock.
What if you try to get him to jump here?
And get under 10. Brennan, they'll put the man in motion. No snap as of yet. And the play clock runs out. They're going to take a delay of game.
I think Danny called timeout.
Nope, take delay of game. The clock should continue to run. Once they mark off the 5, the clock should start running again, which means you can get under a minute and a half most likely.
Yeah, Danny was standing right down there next to the official.
Did they change it? No, they're going to move the ball back. I think Danny did call timeout.
That's what I thought.
I wonder if this is just, hey, we're going to go for this right here, fellas.
Yeah,
and,
it's a good opportunity for these
to
guys.
coach them up on blocking.
Yeah, it's a big moment, right? And you try to simulate this in practice.
Nope.
But live fire, as we say that, you got to get out there and punt sometimes. And
sometimes you just got to let the man punt the football.
They almost got to Parker last time, and they sent the rush. He's just got to be a little bit quicker on that step and punt.
So here's Parker DiTomaso to punt it away for BC. Clock is stopped after the cadet timeout. I wonder if Danny thought they marked it off against him and sent the punt team out, and then they marked it 4th and 1. It's like, oh, but at this point,
just go ahead and punt it.
Just go ahead and punt. They're out there. He was kind of having that conversation, look like with the officials, like, I thought you marked off a penalty on us. So here's DiTomaso, and he will put foot into it. A wobbler, but it's got some good distance. Going to take a nice turf roll towards the 30 at the 35, and missed tackle there. Back towards the 30. They won't let him get away there. A gang tackle back at the 30-yard line, led by number 35, Nick Noel.
Yeah, it was Jack Cannon who got the initial hit, and really good job. Bounced the guy back about 6 yards, and then, like you said, the cavalry got there.
So clock rolling. Looks like Hebron's going to go to their backup finally. And this will be Quentin Davey Jr., who I believe is the coach's son, a freshman. Quentin Davey Sr., the head football coach at Hebron. So his freshman getting a snap there at quarterback. And Davey looking, they're going to let him throw the football. Throws it out in the flat. It's caught at the 35, a gain of 5.
That's Tootin Island out there. You got to be careful throwing out there.
Tootin with the tackle on Kyles. That is a height mismatch.
I tell you what, he has stood up to it, though.
6'5", Kyles against Mr. Tootin, who is not 6'5". They'll run a double move up the right sideline. It's going to be caught, and Tootin going to try to grab him. He does
Great
at the
play.
13-yard line. That might end the ball game. And again, Christian, I know, did they just call timeout? They did.
Oh, my goodness. What are we doing?
I think Danny Britt is.
What are we doing?
I'll be interested to see Danny Britt kind of shaking his head like, come on, man, we've put our backups in, and you're throwing double moves.
And calling
to try to make it look respectable,
to make it a potentially 32-point game.
And I know you could say, well, we're trying to get our guys. You've had the whole fourth quarter to get your guys work. I know their roster is not nearly the size of BC's, but that being said, you could have made some changes earlier in the ball game to get those guys some reps. But yeah, you're down 48-10, and you call a timeout after throwing a double move down to the 12-yard line.
After BC elects not to go for it on 4th and 1, punt it back to you. We go 2 straight passes.
Give Ben Tootin some credit. He tracked him down, saved a touchdown.
He did. Ay.
So Hebron comes out of the timeout.
And BC matches up. Going to go double coverage at the top.
I think they assume they know where this is going. They'll put a receiver in motion. Here's the snap. Davey, he'll throw it to the end zone and going to be caught.
And we're celebrating going to the sideline. All right.
Danny Britt throws his hands up over to the sideline like, what are we doing?
Danny Britt not happy.
And so
it's soft.
So
man.
the coach's son gets a touchdown in garbage time against the second unit with 8 seconds to go.
I mean, it's just, I get it.
That's the unwritten rules of football. Don't do that.
Yeah, you don't do that.
And I think that kind of chapped Danny Britt a little bit.
I mean, you're throwing fades down 38 points with 14 seconds to go, and you're celebrating going to the sideline.
I'm sure it was his son's first touchdown, but nevertheless, the kick is up, and it is good, 48-17. With 8 seconds. And we had to stop the clock on the touchdown. So kind of a dichotomy of weeks. You had some unsportsmanlike things happen with your own team last week, and now not necessarily there's nothing in the rule book they did was wrong, but just it's kind of unwritten. Hey, if you've been in coaching in football, you don't do that.
It's just being a competitor. When you're getting beat by that much, if you say score a touchdown, but run off the field.
Yeah. And again, I think it's one of those things like Steve Spurrier used to say, is like, if you're trying, I'm trying. I will try as hard. Like, if you throw, I will wave it off. But I think clearly Danny Britt waved it off late in the third quarter, and you came out and kind of changed the way you've been running offense to try to make it look respectable.
Score 2 touchdowns. And the only thing I can think is something in the new system. I don't think it takes score into effect. I just think it takes wins and losses. So you're not even trying to, like, fix the eyeball test for your schedule. It's still a loss.
So here's the kickoff.
I'm curious what this handshake line looks like. I know.
Well, we'll see.
That's a sensitive subject.
It is. And BC will run it out across the 5 to the 10. And why did we blow it dead?
It's in the end zone.
Oh.
But either way.
And now the clock's going to run out and the game's over. So let's keep an eye on this.
And Danny Britt at the head of that line.
And I'm sure he's going to turn around and make sure his team is appropriate. 48-17, our final score. Cadets win it. We'll talk with Danny Britt and recap this one and more as we head on into our post-game show. We'll keep it here for a second. Attorney Jonathan Dunn postgame show. Actually, we'll go ahead and step aside. Danny Britton Moore to join us on the postgame show when we come back here on Watch BC Sports.
Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com.
Plan your hunting getaway and escape to experience the beauty of Mossy Pond. Our diverse property right here in Pierce County allows you to enjoy various types of hunts, including plantation-style quail, hog, pheasant, and flooded timber-style duck hunts, all within 24 hours. At the center of it all, experience scenic, rustic, beautiful, and inviting amenities like luxury lodging, our first-class pro shop, fine dining, and the perfect event space. Book now and see why Mossy Pond Lodge is Georgia's premier hunting paradise.
Bowtie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, Bowtie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the Bowtie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. Bowtie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at bowtiebbq.com.
Want to make some extra cash just by sitting on your couch? At Cash and Carry in Savannah, Georgia, we buy any car, no matter the condition, and take it right off the road. Just visit the link, enter your car details, and get an instant offer. Cash and Carry, turning cars into cash without leaving your couch.
48-17, our final score as we begin the Attorney Jonathan Dunn postgame show. Danny Britt will join us coming up in just a little bit. Certainly a different outcome tonight for his football team. Amari Burse, 5 touchdowns. Aaron Mallard, 3 touchdowns. Stanley Smart, 2 on the ground. A much better offensive performance tonight. And final score notwithstanding, when it counted, you only gave up 3 points.
Yeah, when the starters come out, it's 48-3, and just a heck of a performance from BC tonight. And it didn't start explosive. It started with kind of a grind on both sides. Hebron was able to move the football, but then BC got sticky once you got down inside the red zone. And then offensively for BC, clunky a little bit through the first quarter, but then exploded in the second quarter and carried that over into the third quarter. So it was a much-needed performance from the Cadets after last week, and I think more indicative of what you can see from this team when they're playing at a high level. I'll say this. There is a big jump from classification to classification. AAA private for Hebron, you just don't have the bodies. And so I think what happened for them was as the game started going, their first-line dudes were there, and they were playing really well in the first quarter. But as they had to keep being out there offensively and defensively, they got worn down, and that's when you started seeing Aaron and Stanley making those plays. So for BC, it's a great performance, but you're going to be playing 5A football teams, 7A football team next week who have 40 guys that they feel like they can run out there. I don't know that Hebron had 40 guys on their roster tonight. So it matters. Again, Toombs is a AAA team, or Quad A, I guess now team, but not going to see very many teams like that for the rest of the season. Great performance from the Cadets, but still a lot to work on.
Certainly, and again, pretty much most aspects were good. Special teams, I thought kick coverage tonight on kickoffs was very good. Again, I'm sure they'll work on placement and things of that nature that they always kind of harp on, but all 3 facets tonight, a lot more good than there was bad, which is a stark contrast from a week ago.
Yeah, and I think it starts with what Danny Britt mentioned during his show on Wednesday, which is you have to get back to the fundamentals. All the fun stuff, the flash, the pizzazz, the big plays, those happen when you start doing the little things right. You cannot force those to happen. And so defensively, when you started matching up man-to-man in the secondary and you were running in coverage, all of a sudden Gavin Smith is getting home on sacks. All of a sudden Isaac Scott's getting home on the quarterback. You have some other guys rolling in there making big plays. And then offensively, Amari Burse, taking what the defense gives them, keeps the offensive rhythm, stepping up in the pockets, just doing the fundamental things right, eyes downfield, delivering darts. It's the little things lead to the big things.
I thought that was big tonight. You talked about the little things. Speak to those that maybe your average fan maybe not see from Amari tonight with some of the things you're like, that's the sign of a mature quarterback getting it done.
It's a mature quarterback, and it's a quarterback where the game's moving slow for him. It just seemed like Amari was a step ahead. You had some blitzes coming off the edge. He navigated up, and they kind of got lost in the wash, and he was able to keep his eyes downfield and deliver some great passes. Hit some great passes inside the red zone, which is crucial because it just gets tight. You can drop a safety down into the box because you don't have to defend over the top when you're inside the 10. And so those passing lanes get a lot smaller. He did a great job there. So to me, it starts with the offensive line blocking really well, but Amari Burst didn't push tonight, which could have easily happened after last week. I think 3 for 13 in the game last week. Had a touchdown to Aaron Mallard, but still just not indicative of what he can do as a quarterback. I think tonight he let the game come to him, and that played off in a big way.
Other side tonight of the football, a lot of things good there, but I think the best thing that probably got corrected was Jackson, and Brown. Your 3 linebackers shuffled around a little bit, and really we called their names a lot tonight.
Yeah, and again, just like Amari starts with the guys in front of him, those guys start with the guys in front of them. The defensive line, I think, had a really good game getting back to the fundamentals, which is you don't need to be shooting upfield. You don't need to be making a play 3 yards in the backfield. Stonewall somebody and then let your linebackers flow and make the play. You made a couple of defensive swaps where you kick a guy out to Buck and you move Kleinpeter back to safety. I think that worked out nicely. But, again, it starts with the guys up front doing their job, doing the dirty work. It's not going to show up in the stat sheets a lot of the times, but when you see a linebacker who has 11 tackles, it's because the dudes in front of them are doing their job.
Big win tonight here for BC. Danny Britt, they just broke the huddle. I don't know if he's on his way up here, but we'll look to chat with him here in just a couple of moments. Christian, after a big win over Hebron Christian, looking ahead to Camden next week. That's a 7A school. Another big test. This one at home once again. So first 3 ball games right here at home for BC, but a big 7A test next week.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be different than what BC's seen just in terms of the amount of talent they're going to be up against. BC had the superior number just in terms of guys they can roll in. I mean, Peyton Bean played some receiver snaps, but for the most part, everybody was just playing on one side of the ball. Camden's going to roll in with a 2 deep that they feel very comfortable moving in on both sides of the football. They're getting back to what made Camden County great, which is just being tough and physical and running the football. So you are in for another big test next week.
Going to be a lot of fun right back here. We've still got more to go here on the Attorney Jonathan Dunn postgame show. I just saw Coach Britt walk by my periphery, so he'll join us when we come back right here on Watch BC Sports.
Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com.
Want to make some extra cash just by sitting on your couch? At Cash and Carry in Savannah, Georgia, we buy any car, no matter the condition, and take it right off the road. Just visit the link, enter your car details, and get an instant offer. Cash and Carry, turning cars into cash without leaving your couch.
Welcome back here on the Attorney Jonathan Dunn postgame show as we chat with Coach Britt. And Coach, the old saying in sports is you're never as bad as you look. You're never as good as you look. And I thought tonight you kind of landed somewhere in between. They're more towards good as the game went on. But talk about your team's bounce back and what you guys showed out there tonight.
Yeah, and I'm going to stop after this one on last week. But last week we were as bad as we looked. I actually said that to Stephanie on Sunday, sitting there watching the film. So anyway, done with that. Yeah, very, very happy with how we came out, the focus, the energy, the way we played tonight and continued to play with. So proud of that.
Coach, I know you told Christian earlier in the week, wanted to make sure, hey, on a week like this, get back to fundamentals. Tonight we saw sideline to sideline on defense. We saw the jet sweeps. We saw some of those things come out. It seemed like the bread and butter stuff was really what got you started tonight. Yeah,
without a doubt. And that's what you do. Everybody knows it. Any coach knows, like when when you're struggling and don't play well, you just go back to the basics, go back to fundamentals, and do that better. And we tried to do that, and I thought look like that tonight, and obviously had some players make some good plays, but look pretty good tonight.
Amari with 5 touchdowns on the night. Talked about his maturity tonight. Christian noted made some nice veteran moves in the pocket to avoid pressure, keep the play alive, and then end up delivering a strike downfield.
He did that several times, and of course we know that's who he is, and we know that, and Coach Phillips wants him to do that. A couple of times I want him to get out of danger a little bit and maybe take 5 yards, get out of bounds instead of. But no, he's going to do that. He's going to move around. He's going to get it down the field, and I thought he did a great job of that tonight.
Coach, as you said, your dudes were dudes. Stanley Smart, 2 huge runs for you there. Aaron Mallard, 3 touchdowns tonight. But the guy that you always seem to have in your offense is there's that other guy that also makes the offense go tonight, Cole Henderson. 2 huge touchdowns, caught some balls in traffic that were big, and had some big runs, showed a lot of speed and shiftiness that sometimes you forget about, just because I know he's had some injuries that haven't been able to get him out there as much.
Yeah, he has, and he's feeling good right now, and obviously moving very, very fast. And he's that guy that you focus on Stan, you focus on Aaron, and all of a sudden here comes Cole, who can run it, who can come out of the backfield, catch it, he can take a 5-yard pass, 60. So he can do some really good things. He's dangerous.
Obviously, with the score, you had to do some shuffling around on your offensive line tonight. How do you think that group played, kind of moving some guys around?
Looked like they played well and seemed to communicate well. Of course, we'll look at the film and really to be able to know, we really got to look at the film. But I felt like they did good. And they're all guys who we played before, because Turner Walker was the main one that we put in, who was already playing, at tight end and then rotating in at a guard. So, it really wasn't a huge, it's obviously a huge loss not having the other young man, but I thought the guys did well.
Coach, on defense, I know you pride yourself on defense and effort, and I thought tonight, Christian and I looking at it, the 3 guys in your second line there of Jackson, and Brown, you moved them around kind of in some of their spots, inside, outside. I thought those three guys really played well for you.
They did, and that sounds like a major law firm right there, really Jackson and Brown. But no, they did play well, and it's going to take time. We just got to realize that. I mean, for these guys, we're moving Klein Peter back to safety, right? And he's not going to. It takes a while to get the details of things and really get good at it. And these guys moving around can't do it. So we moved Jackson out to Buck, Nick, and we moved him out to Buck. And he's going to take him time to learn that, because it's a different position. It's almost like a nickel, So, but I thought Will Brown as a sophomore stepped in and looked really good.
Coach, you got some guys in late. I know you always like to get those guys on some film. What did you think of some guys that maybe got some late snaps in the game for you and kind of got a little extra extended period to play there?
I thought some guys did really good. They were going after one of my shorter guys,
right,
with a 6'12" guy, which I thought
that's kind of the unwritten rules of football. Don't do that, right? I mean,
at that point, like I get they taking a shot. He tackled him. I would not have called the timeout there. But anyway, it is what it is. It's fine. But I thought the guys did good. I really like, I guess, more the second tier guys that were rolling in and some special teams and stuff looked like they, we were losing nothing when they were going in. So, we'll watch film, but that's exciting. That's good. We got maybe help us build a little depth.
Coach, next week, your final non-region game, you get Camden. So you don't take them any lighter. Next week, you had Toombs, who was in the state championship. That team was a defending state champion. And then Camden, who's a 7A school, comes in here next week.
Yeah, that's how we rolled. That's how we've rolled for years, and we'll see. Coach Coleman, we're just talking is, were we that much better, or are they just was Toombs that good? And I think it's a little all above. Toombs was a really, really good football team. We played horribly. I think we were dialed in and focused tonight and played good. They weren't as good as us. And then we get Camden, and we're going to really see. But that's. That's what it's all about, and we'll see whether, we will get exposed on things, I promise, playing Camden.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. I know, congrats on the big win tonight, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Go Cadets.
Coach Danny Britt joining us here in the Attorney Jonathan Dunn post-game show. We'll let Christian Gokel swap the headset and slide back in. Of course, you can catch Coach Britt on Wednesdays at Bowtie Barbecue with Christian Gokel. A new day, same time, Wednesdays at noon with Coach Danny Britt. I encourage you to go out there and share your thoughts. You encourage people to come by all the
Yeah,
time.
it didn't happen this past week, and I didn't see him in the comment section this week, but the online coaches are always welcome to come talk football in person at the Danny Britt Show.
Enjoy great food
at Bowtie Barbecue.
More importantly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we've pubbed this enough, but they're serving breakfast until 11 o'clock now. And Kevin, I know I'm speaking your language here.
Yeah.
I've had the grit bowl a couple of times now with the brisket gravy.
Oh, geez.
Special over there at Bowtie.
You know, I'm a breakfast guy. I will have that anytime. But a lot of things still to cover tonight before we look ahead to Camden. We have our Cool Vibes Pizza Player of the Game, and I mean, I'll leave it up to you. There's like 5 or 6 guys you could probably give it to who had excellent ball games tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna put it out there, Miss Wendy. If you get mad at me, I'm sorry, and it won't happen again. Or if you tell me it's fine, it will probably happen again too. We actually just pulled them up here to have a conversation with them. The defense, I think, set the tone and let the offense catch up. And the defensive secondary, I think, had some lapses at first, so they were relying on the guys in front of them. I think Gavin Smith from the jump had a really strong game. And then as the secondary started filling in, he was able to get home and get a sack. So Gavin Smith's number one, and then you can't not say Amari Burse tonight. His performance, again, we see it. You mentioned there's games where you see Holden Garner and you're like, oh, there it is. Like, he's developing into the guy you think he can be, where he's not throwing it late over the middle to a future first round safety in the playoffs. Comes back next year, wins the state championship. Luke Kromenhoek, you saw his growth. You saw it from Stephen Cannon, where it's just they kind of ascend and become who they can be. I thought tonight you saw a step from Amari Burse where you saw what he can be, which is just a surgeon with the football. So Gavin Smith defensively, Amari Burse offensively, I think are your two Cool Vibes Pizza Player of the game. So I think well-deserved for 2 tonight.
Certainly well-earned by both of those guys. We've still got more. We do a lot of food here in the postgame show. Despositos.
Yeah, catch of the day.
Catch of the day. It didn't go for a long ways, but I think the catch of the day to me was Cole Henderson on a little flare route where he was reaching out, caught it with one hand, and turned it into, I think, a 6-7 yard reception, but an unbelievable grab to make it a completion.
Listen, let's just say that the lines were hitting for the seafood, because Cole Henderson had 2 touchdown catches, and then his most impressive was perhaps on that swing route. So I'm with you. That Cole Henderson catch of the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say individual catch was that. Yeah. He also had a touchdown pass in traffic. I mean, he looked really good tonight, and we talked to Danny Britt obviously about that, and a guy that he's becoming that next dude. Where it's like, hey, here's the 2 guys that we kind of always have, and who's that third guy that's going to be a problem? It's Cole Henderson, and that's who it was there tonight. Again, we roll along here on the Attorney Jonathan Dunn post-game show. Christian, next week, a 7A school in Camden, and as Coach Britt just said, you play schools like that. Where are we bad? Where are we going to expose? They're going to find it, and they're going to expose us, which is good, because region play starts the next week, and you want to know where do we need to get better, and where do we think we were better at tonight, and maybe we still got a ways to go.
Yeah, and just the top of my head, and obviously we'll talk a lot about this over the next week, is I think Camden is going to be licking their chops a little bit at the edge and seeing these 2 teams have the Toombs a lot. But tonight, Hebron's still able to find some success getting to the edge. They're going to hit you up the gut, and then they're going to try to counter and get to the edge and hit some big plays right there. So that's the first spot I think about right there. But, yeah, absolutely. If you have any hole, they're going to find it, and they're going to exploit it. And for BC, you got to fight the complacency that some people feel like kind of set in after the Somerville scrimmage, where you have a big result like tonight. Cool, we got it figured out. No, you have to go back and have another week of work like you had before this one and get ready to roll against a great Camden team.
Certainly. And again, the team that they went down to Camden in the scrimmage last year played a pretty solid scrimmage game against Camden.
Their region is just ridiculous that they had to play in. So it's a team where you're like, they went 6-4. You're like, no, that's a good 6-4 right there.
Might be the best 6-4 in the state from last year. But again, tonight, a big win for the Cadets. Did want to say this for those watching late in the game about the video. It will be up later tonight. So if you were like, why didn't we have video later tonight? You'll have our audio call laid right over with the video, and you'll be able to watch it here on Watch BC Sports on our YouTube page. So we appreciate y'all bearing with us, and we're making some things happen for you as best we can as we move forward. So that being said, Cadets get a big win, improve to 1-1. Camden next week. If you're anywhere, I know it's Labor Day weekend, come out to Memorial Stadium. Get the weekend started off right with a big football game right here between Camden and Benedictine. For Christian Gocal, I'm Kevin Thomas. Reminder, catch this gentleman Wednesday at noon with Coach Danny Britt at Bowtie Barbecue as they recap BC football and look ahead to the Friday night to come. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being with us here on Watch BC Sports.